bones when I sit down. Chat filling up, yeah, the graveyard's lit now. Skeleton grip on a cigar, can't taste. Still puff rings while I laugh in your face. Jokes filthy ash all over my throne. Crest king, little spine of my tone. If you're dumb, I'm in that band. I'm undead, not patient, understand. Everyone loves a BJ, that's what they came here for. All my boners in the chat go crazy. Stack those skulls on the floor. Yeah, everyone loves a BJ. Say it till your jaw gets sore. Boner brigade, where you at? Get wavy. Scream my name, beg for more. BJ, BJ. Pull up ghost clips, hit play then pause. Look, guys, dust, man, I'm cringing at the cause. Fake horns, fake screams, fake chains drag. I'm the only dead thing calling out that flag. Gamer in a cage, made of rib cage bars. Hands just bones, still tapping on the stars. Undead, but the KD's fine. Headshot, humor dirty in the punchline. Oh, yeah. Everyone loves a BJ, that's what they came here for. All my boners in the chat go crazy. Stack those skulls on the floor. Yeah, everyone loves a BJ. Say it till your jaw gets sore. Boner brigade, where you at? Get wavy. Scream my name, beg for more. BJ, BJ. Trapped in this ribbed up prison. No skin, just bad decisions. Can't taste smoke, but I keep on dragging. Can't feel shame, so I keep on bragging. BJ. Everyone loves a BJ, that's what they came here for. All my boners in the chat go crazy. Fill that graveyard more. Yeah, everyone loves a BJ. Tattoo that line in your core. Boner brigade, raise hell, get lazy. We don't log off, we respond for more. BJ. Click, clack, hear the bones when I sit down. Chat filling up, yeah, the graveyard's lit now. Skeleton grip on a cigar, can't taste. Still puff rings while I laugh in your face. Jokes filthy ash all over my throne. Crest king, little spine of my tone. If you're dumb, I'm in that band. I'm undead, not patient, understand. Everyone loves a BJ, that's what they came here for. All my boners in the chat go crazy. Stack those skulls on the floor. Yeah, everyone loves a BJ. Say it till your jaw gets sore. Boner brigade, where you at? Get wavy. Scream my name, beg for more. BJ, BJ. Pull up ghost clips, hit play then pause. Look, guys, dust, man, I'm cringing at the cause. Fake horns, fake screams, fake chains drag. I'm the only dead thing calling out that flag. Gamer in a cage, made of rib cage bars. Hands just bones, still tapping on the stars. Undead, but the KD's fine. Headshot, humor dirty in the punchline. Oh, yeah. Everyone loves a BJ, that's what they came here for. All my boners in the chat go crazy. Stack those skulls on the floor. Yeah, everyone loves a BJ. Say it till your jaw gets sore. Boner brigade, where you at? Get wavy. Scream my name, beg for more. BJ, BJ. Trapped in this ribbed up prison. No skin, just bad decisions. Can't taste smoke, but I keep on dragging. Can't feel shame, so I keep on bragging. BJ. Everyone loves a BJ. That's what they came here for. All my boners in the chat go crazy. Fill that graveyard more. Yeah, everyone loves a BJ. Tattoo that line in your core. Boner brigade, raise hell, get lazy. We don't log off, we respond for more. BJ. Click, clack, hear the bones when I sit down.
Boners, how's everyone doing tonight? It's another one. It's another one. Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't here last night. I was feeling fucking shitty. I was feeling shitty today. I actually feel a lot better now, which is surprising. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm sure plenty of you who watch, you know, I'm fucking disabled and I've got fucking pain issues and I just, some nights it's just fucking shit. I don't know. Imagine having like incredible amounts of pain and then trying to concentrate through it. I'd be like sitting here the whole time going, oh God, yeah. So that's why I don't stream on those really bad pain days. But I feel a lot better right now. I feel groovy. So we gonna do some Y-Files. I really liked doing the Y-Files before. And there's still so many videos on that channel. And I love giving my 2 cents on a lot of this stuff. I always found cryptids fascinating. When I was a kid, my favorite one, of course, was the Loch Ness Monster. Now, logic dictates, you know, well, yeah, there's a lot of issues with that whole story. I mean, I tend to agree with scientists. But the kid in me is like, no, there's gotta be, it's too awesome. I want a dinosaur in the lake. So yeah, when I bought Jurassic World Evolution, those games, like I loved friggin' putting Plesiosaur. And you know, when I was a kid, Plesiosaur was monstrous. It was like, oh my god! And then you put them in there in like Jurassic World Evolution, and you put some of those other aquatic dinosaurs, and you're like, wow, it's really small in comparison. Like I had a whole different view on how big they were. Damn. But the horn sounds for Gondor. So yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna start with Y-Files, Cryptids Volume 4, Bunyips, Yowie, and the Australian and Australian Nightmare Fuel. I mean, I think Australia has enough nightmare fuel. It's like, which one? There's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot. I'm looking at Red. She's just nodding at me. There's a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Like what?
Big spiders.
Yeah.
What else?
What do you mean you forgot the rest? Just spiders. That's all that matters to her. There's big spiders there. I don't want to go there.
Big spiders.
Huge. They're huge spiders. You don't understand. Like, no. You did. That's enough. Spiders. It's fine. Oh shit! I forgot to turn my Grim Reaper back on. Mini Reaper. My little boner. I had to make room on the scene the other day. Let's see. And we have the screen ready. We are ready to do this. We're going to go right into it. Except I should move my big fat head out of the way. That would be beneficial. So we can see all the weird cryptid goodness in full view. All right, let's look at cryptid stuff.
This episode of the Y-Files is brought to you by Ground News.
Ground News!
Beyond the bustling modern Australian cities is the outback. It's a land that's ancient, remote, and deadly.
Yep.
Animals here evolved in
I think everyone knows that Australia is a death trap.
Mammals that lay eggs. Flightless birds that can kill with one kick.
I hate it here.
These are the animals we know about.
A lot of people hate it in Australia.
Disappear here. Campsites torn apart. Blood smeared across tree trunks. Claw
Dingo
marks
ate
and
my
footprints
baby!
that don't belong to any known animal. But the locals know what they are. They have stories, warnings. The land doesn't just hide these creatures, it protects them. And sometimes the land gets hungry, and those creatures have to hunt.
No, I think the creatures get hungry and the land is like, oh fuck, get out the way.
Hey, those are villain people. 5 seconds.
You're on your own, fuckers!
Cuban, finally you answered. I need a little favor.
He's been doing less Hecklefish lately, and it's driving me nuts. Hecklefish is the best. I don't want him to be here just for the ads.
Cutting through sensation.
God damn, there's a lot of ad.
Missing the buried details.
That's a lot of ad.
In Australia, you hear the
Okay, let's go back. There we go. I think we got it good. I think we got a good spot.
In the forests of eastern Australia, you hear the typical sounds of any forest.
Yeah.
Wind rustling through the trees, birds, the chatter of small animals.
Even though the
But
trees
there's a
can even
sound
kill
that
you there.
stands out, almost human. A deep growl that rattles with every breath. Aboriginal people have several names for it. Dulaga, Quinkin, Yahoo.
Yahoo!
I was gonna do it!
Sorry.
The fish beat me
All
to
those
it!
names sound like websites from the 90s. Please go on.
I will go on.
Settlers gave it a name that stuck. The Yowie.
Yowie! They literally named it the word they said when they saw it. Well, I guess it's better than naming it. Holy look at the size of that thing!
Yeah, let's
Dean
name it. That's the
Harrison
next
tracked the
one.
Yowie for
Next time
over
I see
25
a
years.
scary
He
cryptid,
interviewed
we're gonna
hundreds
name
of
it Holy
witnesses.
Shit!
He had his own encounters.
Did you see
and
the Holy
scars
Shit?
to prove
Yes.
it. Dean described it as massive, 7 to 8 feet tall, covered in dark hair with broad shoulders, a sloped forehead, and glowing amber eyes.
Gee, it
also
looks
gave off
like
a stench that made
Bigfoot.
him gag, sweet and sickly, like the
Okay, the glowing eyes in a lot of these reports always drives me nuts. It's probably not actually glowing. It's probably the predator reflective or a glare off the eyes, and people are mistaking it for a glow just because they can see them at night, or just people embellishing the story. I mean, let's be honest.
smell of death.
And the Yowies is
The
like
smell of
nothing.
death. Now, in Florida, they have the skunk ape, which is basically Bigfoot of the swamps. And they call it a skunk ape because, fittingly, it smells like hot ass. So when they're like, it smells like death, I'm like, gee, that sounds like someone else I know.
What else that you could describe? And the stink from that is just, once you smelt one, you never forget it.
Yeah, like, imagine a primate that's got many human features that doesn't bathe and lives in the woods all the time. He's probably like, I think I smell fine.
It's like a burnt electrical, if you blew up a TV or a radio, that burnt Bakelite electrical smell.
Wait, that's
And it seems
different.
to
That's what,
permeate
like
everything
ozone?
in the area.
One night, he was attacked, thrown to the ground. His ribs were bruised. His spine was injured. He still can't walk without pain. But to Dean, the Yowie is no myth. This is a real creature, a dangerous predator, and it's been seen by people for years. The stories show up in
Like a
police
lot of
records,
others.
park ranger logs, modern newspaper articles, reports from just
Park
outside
ranger logs. Yep,
Brisbane,
saw another
the Blue Mountains,
Yowie.
dozens more from hikers and campers who thought they were alone. And if you've ever hiked alone in remote areas, you know that feeling when everything goes too quiet. Dean's research revealed
It's
something
quiet.
else.
A little too
The Yowie
quiet.
doesn't just attack randomly.
It's rap.
It
A little
watches,
too rap.
It follows. It likes to attack people who are
Yeah,
isolated
it was a
and
good movie. I
vulnerable,
don't care what
miles
anybody
from
says.
help. But Dean wasn't the first to track these creatures. In 1882, Henry James McCooey spotted what he called an indigenous ape on the New South Wales coast. 5 feet tall, black hair, red fur around the throat. McCooey was so confident in what he saw, he offered the Australian Museum £40 to capture one alive. That's
Okay.
$4,000 in today's money. The museum never took him up on his offer, but the sightings, they kept coming.
And coming and coming.
The Yowie reports span decades, and they're not all from the bush.
Yeah, that surprises me. When you're looking for
Nothing wrong
something
with a little
hairy,
bush.
You usually go straight for the bush.
Stop that. In 1977, hikers near Springbrook saw something massive watching them from a ridge. It was hunched, covered in red hair, and then stood upright, and then it was gone. Not out of sight, just gone. All that was left was the smell, wet, sweet, and rotten. In 1994, a Canberra
I don't think
man
that that's
known
too
today as
unusual.
Tim the Yowie Man was hiking alone when he stopped to adjust his pack. That's when
Okay, if this thing is living in the wilderness, especially a place with a lot of predators, I mean, say Florida, like the skunk ape, or the outback with, all the dangerous predators out there, wouldn't it be in their best interest to smell like hot ass? It would disguise their scent, dissuade predators. I mean, like I said, I know more about the skunk ape. It has, you got to think of gators and fucking snakes and all kinds of shit out there. And if they're tracking by scent, they're like, that's not something I want to eat. You know what I mean? It smells rotten. Like, no. Well, gators might. Gators do let their meat rot. But, I mean, it would mask their scent in a way, So I could understand the idea of maybe it wanting to smell like shit on purpose if it has any ability to think and rationalize, which from a lot of descriptions of Bigfoot and Yeti and others, they've showed problem solving things like many apes do.
Saw it. Tall, hairy, the creature stared back at him, then it turned and disappeared into the trees. Tim's been tracking the Yowie ever since. In 2009,
Dressed like that?
a former SAS soldier was driving
okay.
on a remote highway after dark. His headlights caught something crossing the road, walking upright, dark fur, and moving fast.
It was me. I was
took
hungry.
2 strides before it disappeared into the brush. The soldier didn't stop.
That wasn't a man, and it wasn't any animal I've ever seen.
That wasn't a
I've seen things
man.
most people haven't, but not like that.
At
Like
Downsford,
what?
Victoria, a woman was sitting by her campfire. She looked up and saw a massive silhouette just 20 feet away. She described it as ape-like, powerful, and watching her.
It didn't growl, it didn't charge, it just stood there, like it was waiting.
That same weekend, another camper nearby reported hearing branches break and something pacing through the woods. People said it might be a kangaroo, but he said it was too heavy. You could feel the steps hitting the ground. Researchers
I don't know,
logged
some of
both
them kangaroos
accounts
are
and
pretty
hundreds
big.
more. The reports continue to pour in. Rural farmlands, suburban backyards, outer Brisbane, everywhere. But here's what bothers researchers most. When people talk about the Yowie, they don't say they saw something. They say something saw them.
Well,
Something
now?
deadly lives in Australia's rivers. Something hungry. Aboriginal people call it the bunyip. It means devil in Wemba Wemba.
I get knocked down. Did I get up again? Yeah,
you beat me to
What
it.
are you doing?
It's that song by Wemba Wemba.
That was Chumbawamba.
What'd I say?
Anyway, almost every Aboriginal group has its own version of the legend. The creature changes depending on the region. Sometimes it's described like a giant seal, other times like an emu with fangs and the body of a crocodile. But a few details never change. It lives in deep water. It drags people under. Some stories claim it can paralyze its victims.
It looks a
with
lot
its
like a
gaze.
hippo to me.
And the last thing the victims hear are the bunyip's screams.
I mean, it looks a lot like a hippopotamus.
The bunyip isn't just a monster, it's a punishment. Elders say it feeds on those who disrespect sacred sites. It's a
Ooh.
guardian, dragging away people who pollute the water.
How dare you? Oh, you didn't see that
Don't
coming?
piss in this puddle.
Around the 19th century, settlers started hearing something at night near still water. Screams and roars.
It wasn't
the sound
me.
of something heavy surfacing. Then livestock started going missing. People
Go
saw
figure.
huge glowing eyes watching from the reeds. In 1846, something strange washed up along the banks of the Murrumbidgee River. A skull, waterlogged and weathered. It didn't belong to a cow, a sheep, or a crocodile. Its jaw was too broad, its eye sockets were too large, and its snout had a strange shape.
Yeah, but
Locals
it's
brought
very
the skull to
deformed
the Australian Museum in Sydney, who put it
and
on
damaged.
display. When tribal elders were invited to see it, they looked once and pointed, and they all said the same word: bunyip. The museum locked the skull away, and it hasn't been seen since.
Interesting.
But the sounds didn't stop. From the Murray to Brungle Creek, something was moving through the water around Murrumbidgee River, something large. When more livestock was reported missing, the locals knew what was happening. The bunyip was back, and it was hungry.
With a vengeance! Hey, Brett! What are you doing? You can talk. Say hi.
Museums
Making
don't always
ramen
want the
for
truth
food.
to get out.
What?
Making ramen for food.
Making ramen for Boo? Why are you making ramen for Boo?
Mm.
Because she sucks at it, huh? You're the best. She's so humble.
out.
Ah, museums are just government storage units with gift shops.
In 1883, a group of Aboriginal men sat around their camp at Cockatoo Flat. They were winding down around the fire. One by one, they drifted off to sleep. The last man was about to close his eyes when he looked past his feet, and his blood ran cold. A huge pair of wide-set yellow eyes stared at him from the trees. At first, he thought the fire was playing tricks on him. Then the eyes moved. Branches snapped. He heard rustling. Before the man could utter a word, the bunyip had crept to the edge of their camp.
The problem is so many of these sightings are hearsay or under stressful conditions where the eyewitness reports can be incredibly misinterpreted. There's a lot of these things. And, of course, it's also nighttime. It's going to be hard to give an accurate description if it's fucking that dark. I mean, just look at the display to give I know that was created with AI. But I'm saying it's a good, for example, if it's that dark, imagine being in a stressful situation where this thing is attacking. Oh yeah, you're going to get it right, or you're going to exaggerate, or maybe its teeth were massive, or because you're only going to focus on the dangerous part. What's going to kill me? No.
She's not.
I don't. I love Lil Red, but she never gets when I'm on the air. I know she's a kid. It's just she has to describe to me how she wants to eat her ramen. Okay, yeah. In other reports, there's been studies where people have tested their accuracy on recalling events. Like people had a habit of saying when they were describing a gunman, because they were so focused on the gun, because that's where the danger is, that they were not giving accurate descriptions of the person holding the weapon. Do you understand? It's very similar in animal attack situations. They're going to focus on what's going to cause damage. Claws and teeth. So they're going to remember claws and teeth, anything that's coming at them. But the rest of the body is going to be hard to describe because they're so focused on not letting those dangerous parts get them. You get what I'm saying? They hyper focus on what's dangerous. So the eyewitness reports are going to be skewed in that way as well.
It was massive. Its body was covered in short, prickly hair like a porcupine. It had a long, thick tail. Its pale yellow eyes were locked and unblinking. It had a long beak full of pointed teeth and 2 large tusks. It roared and charged, but the creature tripped on something and stumbled, just long enough for the men to run for their lives. Some ran for miles.
It tripped. The big scary monster tripped.
Place.
I don't know. That sounds like bullshit to me.
Later,
I'm just saying. Red? No. Sit down and eat. Red? Don't argue. Sit down and eat your dinner. Be a parent.
Wilkinson was walking along the banks of Brungle Creek. The seasonal flooding had receded, and as he walked, something caught his eye. A carcass. Something huge, with a thick tail and hair like a porcupine. A local newspaper published a story, and this caught the attention of the Sydney Museum.
Uh-oh.
They asked Henry Wilkinson to send them the remains so they could study it.
Don't do it, Hank.
Wilkinson agreed and sent the creature to the Sydney Museum. The museum said the package never arrived.
Of course it
was
didn't.
Never seen again.
Oh, go figure. Didn't we just hear about this with the Smithsonian hiding shit too, with like giants and shit? It's to me, I don't think it's the museum itself. I think it would probably be government officials and shit. Be like, hide that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that they have their fingers in everywhere. It only makes sense. Somebody brings you something that looks like holy shit, you should definitely hide that shit.
Deep in Australia's wilderness, there's a creature you'll never hear coming. It doesn't stalk. It doesn't howl. High in the branches of fig trees, it sits motionless,
The drop bear!
And waiting. It's called the Yara Mayahu. It's small, red, hairless. Its body is squat.
That's not what I heard.
Its fingers have suckers like an octopus. Its skin is wet, wrinkled, and the color of raw meat, like an animal turned inside out. Its head looks too big for its body. Its black eyes.
I haven't heard this one before.
Where a mouth should be, there's just a wide, fleshy circle. When you stop to rest beneath its tree, the Yaramayahu drops. No sound, no warning. It attaches its suckers to your skin, pierces it, and drinks your blood. But it does it slowly, not enough to kill you, just enough to control you.
Guys, this sounds like the worst hickey ever.
Then
It
it
is.
swallows you whole.
My analysis
Wait, what?
stands.
But it doesn't digest you. After a few hours, it regurgitates you. You're still alive, but different. You're smaller. Your skin is a little more red, a little more like the thing that took you. If it happens again, the changes continue. Victims become even smaller, even redder. This isn't just an attack for food, it's how it reproduces. In the Blue Mountains, a boy disappeared from a
That's
school field trip
an
near a
odd
fig
one.
grove. Search teams found him the next day, curled beneath a tree. His skin was red, and within days, he stopped playing and making eye contact. Within a week, he stopped speaking. In Queensland, a woman returned from a hike 3 days late. Her skin was blistered, but she wasn't upset. She was quiet. Over the next few weeks, she withdrew. She stopped talking to people, stopped taking calls. Then one day, she packed her things and was never seen again. But here's what makes the
Odd.
Yaramayahu different from other cryptids. The victims don't just come back changed, they come back missing time. The boy in the mountains couldn't account for 6 hours. The woman in Queensland lost 3 days. Every fig tree in Australia.
Okay,
could be
but
hiding
where's the rest
something
of the
red
info?
And hungry and
The
completely
kid,
still.
how
It
was he
doesn't
the
hunt.
rest of his
It
life?
doesn't
Did he
chase.
grow up?
It waits. It waits for animals.
There's gotta be more.
It waits for people. It waits for anything that decides its tree would be a nice spot to rest and get out of the sun. And once you're relaxed, you feel a pinch somewhere on your body. And then everything goes black. Australia is dangerous enough without cryptids. That continent is constantly trying to kill you.
Right,
The
yeah.
saltwater crocodile is an apex predator that targets humans in northern Australia. The eastern brown snake is the deadliest snake on the continent. It's highly venomous, fast, and likes to live near people. The coastal taipan snake is even faster and among the most venomous snakes on Earth. The funnel web spider is aggressive, highly venomous, and famous for its painful bite. And if you do get
lovely.
bit by a funnel web spider, you better hope there's a hospital nearby with a decent supply of antivenom, because you're now in an emergency situation.
Yes.
In the water off Australia, you've got great white sharks. You've got box jellyfish, where one sting can cause cardiac arrest. The blue ring octopus packs a neurotoxin.
Yeah, why
that
go to
causes
Australia?
paralysis
Fuck that
and
shit.
respiratory failure.
No.
There's no known antivenom. Even Australian snails are dangerous. The cone snail has a venomous harpoon that can kill a human in minutes. Locals call it the cigarette snail because you only have time for one smoke before you die. Those animals are all real. But what about Australia's cryptids? Well, if you follow this channel, you know that I don't like to cover cryptids because there's never any good evidence. There's never
Right.
any good photos.
I
or
agree with that.
videos.
There is
Same
never
goes
any
for
good
all the creatures
evidence.
we talked about today. There's no hard evidence for any of them. So what's really happening? The Yowie sounds like a creature we see all over the world.
Yowie?
Bigfoot in the US, the Yeti in the Himalayas. Canadians have the Sasquatch.
Sam Squanch.
Thousands of reported
They're all the
sightings,
same breed, in
many
my
from
opinion.
credible people, rangers, veterans, police officers. Some accounts are detailed, some are compelling. But just like Bigfoot stories, when you look closely, they don't really hold up. Footprints are too vague. Hair turns out to be possum, dog, or human. Dean Harrison's Yowie story is inconsistent. In some versions, he's attacked running away from a Yowie. In others, he's attacked while tracking it. And when stories change, you have to question them.
Or maybe when a giant hair ape throws you into a tree, your memory gets a little fuzzy. You ever think of that, huh? It's called PBFASD, Post-Bigfoot Attack Stress Disorder, human. Look it up.
But the bunyip is different. Unlike the Yowie, it never had one form. It changes
Yeah.
from region to region. It just became a catch-all for any people disappearing near water.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that
it
makes
has
sense.
feathers, sometimes it's reptilian.
Reptilians are shapeshifters.
Do they drag people underwater?
Lizard people.
No, they prefer to eat human souls from the moon.
I mean,
But here's
that could be the gator or a croc pulling people into the water and eating them. I mean, and again, I don't think there's hippos in Australia, but a lot of the bunyip description sounds like a hippo.
That's what bothers me about the bunyip evidence. The skull was displayed in a museum for 2 days. Elders identified it as a bunyip. Experts said it was a deformed calf. Either way, it vanished. So did that package of the remains of another bunyip.
I mean, if it was identified as a deformed calf, I can see why they would remove it afterwards. It's been identified. We don't really need that there. You know, it's like, oh, that's all it was.
Look, I don't trust museums. And when museums get a hold of inconvenient evidence, that evidence tends
I mean,
to
it's true too,
disappear.
but there's an argument for logic.
Just ask the Smithsonian about giant human skeletons.
I said that already.
Viking artifacts in North America, Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon.
Right. The Yaramayahu is easier to explain. It's a myth that's been told to children for generations by indigenous tribes. It's a warning. Stay with the tribe. Don't wander off alone.
Yep.
It's caution wrapped in a horror story.
There's so many stories that people tell their kids to scare them to keep them in the safe places. I've said for many years that the Weeping Woman of Mexico, La Llorona, it was a story that was told to keep kids away from the water so they wouldn't drown. She was always found around bodies of water, and she was specifically looking for children. You know, well, what better story to tell your kids to keep them away from the water, to keep them safe, than to tell them a story about a ghost woman that haunts, that looks for kids around the water, so the kids aren't going to go near the water. You know what I'm saying? I remember stories that my parents told me that, you know, obviously they could have came up with a better one, but it worked when we were kids. Like, I remember there was this big water tower we used to pass by all the time. We didn't know it was a water tower. You know, we asked what it was. And my parents said, oh, that's where Freddy lives. He's an old man, and he takes kids. And if you're bad, we'll bring you there. That, you know, that was what my parents told us. So it's not surprising that many stories are probably told in that way or made up in that way as stories to keep kids safe. But then they stick with kids. They remember them because it was danger when they were a kid. So they tell them when they grow up. And sometimes the story changes a bit as it evolves and grows and moves through the story, you know, moves through time.
Some people laugh at stories meant to scare children, but many fairy tales are based on fear. They're designed to frighten us, to activate our survival instincts. Hansel and Gretel, don't wander too far. Little Red Riding Hood, don't talk to strangers. Dozens more fairy tales have lessons just like this.
Oh, like don't trust the media.
What fairy tale is that?
Oh, no, it's not a fairy tale. It's a true story. It just
don't
seemed
trust
like a
the
good
media.
time to remind everyone.
These cryptids probably don't exist. But if you're alone in the outback, the danger is real.
Yeah,
the silence that
there's
feels
a
like it's
lot
listening
more problems
is
there.
Real. That shadow that moves at the edge of your sight, that's real too. Dismiss these legends at your own risk, because in the Australian wilderness, ignoring the lessons and the wisdom in these ancient stories might be the last mistake you ever make. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Yay!
My name is AJ. You know Hecklefish.
I do know Yahoo. Yahoo! What do we got? What plan? The secret plan to survive the zombie apocalypse. Oh, I'm down with this. I want to hear the plan to survive the zombie apocalypse. The undead is my jam. Con plan 8888.
This episode of
The secret plan to survive the zombie apocalypse. Zombies! Oh, see, read. There's a warning. Zombies! This is my jam!
Staff Sergeant Ryan Martinez was the BDOC desk sergeant on duty at Offutt AFB, a few miles south of Omaha, Nebraska. He sipped cold coffee, updated the blotter, and checked in with patrols. Reports confirmed the monitors. RC-135 sitting dark in the flight line, guards walking posts, and perimeter fences quiet. At 0400, this was routine.
Gripping their guns.
Martinez was fighting a yawn when the klaxon fired up.
Uh-oh. That bad.
Then an
that real
announcement.
bad.
Alarm red. Perimeter breach.
I didn't do
Martinez
it.
checked the cameras.
It was a one-armed
wave of
man.
shadows was stumbling across the field toward thousands of on-base personnel and their families. Then he saw them. The shadows were people. Or at least they used to be. The loudspeaker barked commands to halt. The horde kept coming. Flares went up. Warning shots were fired. The horde kept coming. Then came the command Martinez never expected to hear. Weapons free. Gunfire erupted. Thousands of rounds creating a wall of sound and smoke and steel. Bodies fell. The entire base held its breath.
See, that's the thing that's scary about zombies, in my opinion.
The bodies rose again, and the horde kept coming.
The unending numbers and the unlimited stamina. They'll just keep coming, even if slow. They don't need to run.
Was prepared for this exact scenario, outlined in a military document most Americans had never heard of. Con Plan 8888, the Pentagon's guide.
For instance, I watched a documentary where they said hyenas would be considered the king of the jungle if it wasn't for their short hind legs. They weren't as fast as the lion, but they have stronger neck muscles, a stronger bite force. They're a lot more dangerous one-on-one than a lion, which I thought was very interesting. And they're ambush. What they do is when they hunt in a pack, because even though they can't keep up with their prey, they outlast them. They run out their stamina. Hyenas have a much higher stamina than a lot of creatures. So even if they can't keep up, It's the pack tactics and just wearing them down. And I think having a high stamina is something worth noting in a lot of these things, like strength, speed, blah, stamina. Don't overlook stamina.
Surviving a zombie apocalypse. And tonight, the plan goes operational.
I don't know. I will find out. There you are. I just got a call from my wife saying that the washing machine is full of salad bar stuff. Do you know breakfast for one whole year?
You can download it and read it for yourself. In 2009, the United States
Okay,
Strategic
wait. I went too
Salad-
far.
It depends how you toss it.
I don't know about tossing salad.
The plan that Staff Sergeant Martinez pulled from that cabinet is real. I have a copy of it.
The
You can download
lights.
it and read it for yourself. In 2009, United States
Brett
Strategic
is really
Command
bad
released
at
Con-Plan 8888-11.
at figuring out hand
Counter-zombie
motion.
dominance operations. 31 pages of detailed military strategy for surviving a zombie apocalypse, complete with operational phases, threat assessments, and rules of engagement.
Wait. This is a real thing? Army vs. zombies?
Yep.
Okay, I'm terrified right now. Hold me.
Now, the document opens with standard Pentagon formatting, official letterhead, proper classification stamps. Everything looks mundane until you get to the document's purpose statement.
U.S. Stratcom, Con Plan 8888. Purpose: to undertake military operations to preserve non-zombie humans from the threats posed by a zombie horde. Because zombies pose a threat to all non-zombie human life, hereafter referred to as humans, U.S. Stratcom will be prepared to preserve the sanctity of human life.
The document was
We're
declassified in
boned.
2011 thanks to a FOIA request. Now that's a quick turnaround from classified to public. A section
Right.
of Con Plan 8888 reveals why.
U.S. Stratcom, Con Plan 8888, Security Instructions. This document is unclassified to ensure maximum utility during times of crisis. Classified
Maximum
capabilities used
utility.
to counter zombies will be addressed in appropriate orders, and crisis plan will be adapted to current operational conditions.
Con Plan 8888 assumes a complete break.
Okay, I just want to say, I don't think that there's anything wrong with having a zombie plan. Even if you think zombies are fake and it'll never happen or blah, 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 blah. It doesn't hurt just to be prepared. I mean, think about Batman and the Justice League. He has a plan on how to take down every member of the Justice League. Why? Because you never know when you might need it. And they can go, oh, well, you're never going to. I'm never going to do something like that. And Batman's like, no, you can't know that. You never know what will happen. You know what I mean? And I was like, Batman, being prepared. It doesn't hurt to have a plan, just in case.
Down of society. It lays out 5 distinct operational phases from monitoring through the restoration of civil authority. Phase 0 is shape the environment. Stratcom watches for non-state actors with chemical and biological WMDs. They monitor disease vectors, outbreaks, and epidemics. Phase 1 is deter. This prevents enemies from creating zombies. And nuclear-armed countries get notified that counter-zombie tactics aren't a preparation for war. Phase 2 is seize the initiative. Stratcom provides security assistance to local authorities. Quarantine zones get created and enforced. Civilian areas stay
Yeah, I bet those will be fun.
until they're overrun. Then Con Plan 8888 enters Phase 3. Dominate, respond, and counter. During Phase 3, the U.S. military locks down and retreats to fortified positions for at least 40 days.
U.S. Stratcom, Con Plan 8888, Phase 3. Upon receipt of a U.S. Stratcom order, all forces will begin preparations to conduct combat operations against zombie threats. U.S. Stratcom will shelter all personnel in place for at least 40 days.
After that, Phases 4 and 5 focus on stabilizing and restoring government. Reconnaissance teams deploy to assess the zombie threat.
U.S. Stratcom, Con Plan 8888, Phase 4 and 5. No earlier than 40 days after the initiation of Phase 3 operations, U.S. Stratcom forces will initiate local reconnaissance ops to determine the severity of the remaining zombie threat, assess the physical and epidemiological security of the local environment, and survey the status of basic services: water, power, sewage
Yeah.
infrastructure, and communications.
If the threat is neutralized, rebuilding begins.
It all
but as
makes
long
sense.
as zombies exist, the military stays locked down. Conplan 8888 outlines these phases step by step. But notice what's missing during the military lockdown.
What?
Civilian protection.
Oh,
The
yeah.
document says that during the first critical weeks, local law enforcement handles zombie attacks until martial law is declared. After that, no civilian assistance, no rescue missions, no exceptions.
They have to
The plan
assume that they're
assumes most
infected.
government officials die within 24 hours. Cities become uninhabitable. Infrastructure collapses completely. Complan 8888 ensures military command and control continues. Now that's great if you're inside a fortified facility. But for anyone outside a military fence, Complan 8888 makes it clear you're on your own.
Mm-hmm. Good thing I live out in the country.
To survive the collapse of society, you need to understand the threat. The military knows where zombie apocalypses could start
I know
and
that
what we'll face beyond the safety of
in a
fortified
zombie
fences.
apocalypse, it's going to be hard to survive in a big city. I mean, I can't imagine. You got to think of how quickly a zombie breakout would spread through major cities, even suburbs. Like I said, I don't think a zombie apocalypse is ever going to happen. Let me be clear. I don't think that that's ever going to happen. But it never hurts to be prepared. I'm not a doomsday prepper. Otherwise, I'd probably have a lot more shit. Definitely. And I didn't move to the country because it's safe from zombies. I just like the peace and quiet. But if, just in case, I think I'm okay. I think I'll do good.
Installations.
U.S. Stratcom, Conplan 8888, Section 4, Subsection 5, Conditions for Implementation, Part A. Zombies have the potential to seriously undermine national security and our way of life. While the U.S. currently enjoys several asymmetric advantages in against zombie infections originating in the Eurasian landmass, these advantages can easily be negated by air and sea traffic that could transport the source of a zombie infection to North and South America.
But Conplan 8888 is clear. Zombie threats come from anywhere and affect anyone. The Pentagon organized zombies into distinct categories. According to Conplan 8888, the most likely threat comes from pathogenic zombies, created when viruses or bacteria infect humans. And the Pentagon isn't guessing. Existing diseases could mutate and trigger real outbreaks. Take rabies. The virus attacks the central nervous system, creating aggression and violence. Infected animals foam at the mouth and attack anything that moves. That foam carries the rabies virus. One bite from a rabid animal means almost certain death. Movies like 28 Days Later and World War Z show virus-based zombies. Animals also become zombies through prion diseases. A prion is a misfolded protein that destroys brains and nervous systems. Chronic wasting disease makes deer and elk lose their natural fear. They stumble around like zombies, easy prey for predators. Mountain lions actually target infected deer, but eating these animals is risky. Eat a prion-diseased brain and you become infected. Mad cow disease is a prion disease. Humans who eat infected beef develop Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. The symptoms are rapid mental deterioration, loss of coordination, and aggressive behavior. Sounds a lot like zombies.
Wonderful.
Kuru affects cannibalistic tribes in Papua New Guinea. They eat the brains of dead relatives as a funeral ritual.
Stop. Why do they, how do,
And this
why?
is
Eating the brain
Thriller.
helps the spirit reach the afterlife.
So, how was Grandma's funeral? Yeah, a little chewy.
Huh?
I don't feel so good.
Yeah, technically it's against the law now, but rumors are that some tribes still do this privately.
Keep my wife's brain out
Out your fucking mouth.
Keep my wife's brain out your mouth.
And that's how it continues. Eating an infected brain spreads Kuru. Victims experience severe mood changes. They become violent and unpredictable.
Like ex-wives.
Like zombies.
That makes more
How
sense.
about like current
The
wives?
Zombieland movies feature prion zombies. And beyond bacteria, viruses, and prions, parasites can create zombies. These are called symbiont-induced zombies. What makes these parasites so dangerous is you don't know you're carrying one.
Wonderful. Stupendous.
Conplan 8888 says pathogenic zombies are most common, and that makes sense. Diseases affect every animal on Earth, and sometimes those diseases jump to humans through zoonosis. AIDS, SARS, H1N1, Ebola, plague, anthrax, Lyme disease, malaria. Dozens of
sound
deadly
awful.
diseases jump from animals to humans, and most diseases kill their host, but not
Right?
all. Conplan 8888 calls these SIZs, symbiont-induced zombies. Instead of killing you, the parasite uses you, at least for a while. In
Yeah, that
Costa
sounds
Rica's
shitty.
rainforests, the jewel wasp attacks cockroaches. The wasp injects venom directly into the roach's brain.
Yeah, I
The
think
roach
there's
becomes
another wasp
docile
that
and
does that with
compliant.
the
You said this
spiders.
was the Cosby wasp?
The jewel wasp.
Or no,
I
it was in
remember Jewel doing
Australia.
anything this inappropriate.
The jewel wasp grabs the roach by its antenna and leads it to a burrow, like walking a dog. The roach doesn't flee, it follows. Then the wasp lays an egg inside the roach and leaves. The roach stays put, waiting peacefully. When the larva hatches, it eats the cockroach alive from the inside out.
Gross!
That's mind control. Conplan 8888 calls it zombification. And if you played the Dead Rising games, those zombies are created by these parasitic wasps. Then there's Ophiocordyceps. This fungus turns ants into zombie ants. Infected ants abandon their colonies and climb high branches. They bite down on leaves with a death grip. The fungus then consumes the ant's body and bursts from its head, raining
Gross.
spores on the colony below. The ant's final act spreads infection and creates more zombies. The Last of Us games and HBO series feature the cordyceps fungus jumping to humans. African sleeping
lovely.
sickness affects thousands of people every year. It's transmitted by tsetse flies. Victims become confused, disoriented, and violent,
Like my ex.
like zombies.
Right.
Those parasites kill the host eventually, but some keep the host alive forever. The acanthocephalin worm starts by infecting insects that birds like to eat, because the worm's final destination is in a bird's gut. The parasite hijacks an insect's survival instincts. It abandons cover and wanders into open areas where birds hunt. Some climb to the tops of plants and stay exposed. Birds eat the zombified insects. The worm infects the bird. More worms spread through the bird's feces, and the bird never knows the worm is there. In fact,
Lovely.
there's a dangerous parasite that's already living in almost half of the human population. And if you don't have it, there's a good chance that somebody living in your house does.
Ah, god damn it. Gross. The benefits of not having a stomach.
Toxoplasma gondii is a single-celled parasite that lives in contaminated water and undercooked meat. Between 30 and 50% of humans carry it. Most don't know they're infected. The reason it's so common? Cats.
I knew it.
Oh,
Those
god
filthy
damn it.
old beasts are bioweapons.
Okay, settle down. About half of all cats have toxoplasma antibodies from past infection. And this bug is tough. It survives months in cat feces, years in soil and water. It can withstand refrigeration and even freezing. Chlorine will kill it. Neither will soap or detergent.
Wow.
Sulfuric acid kills it, but it takes almost 2 years. It's easily spread by household insects like cockroaches and flies, and rodents. And there's an argument that Toxoplasma gondii evolved to help cats. Infected rats and mice lose their fear of cats. They become slower, less alert. They're actually attracted to cat urine. Toxoplasma programs rodents to get eaten. It's the perfect parasite. Indestructible, persistent, widespread, undetectable. The military knows that in a real outbreak, every cat becomes a disease vector. You couldn't trust any of
Of
them.
Yeah,
course.
if you trust
Wonderful.
a house cat, you deserve to get eaten.
I have
That's why
4.
Conplan 8888 takes biological threats seriously. Once a pathogen enters the pet population, containment becomes impossible.
You could eliminate all the cats.
Stop that.
I'm just saying, if you want to make an omelet, you gotta break some kittens.
But here's what keeps
No
researchers
breaking
awake at night.
kittens.
Most people don't know they're carrying toxoplasma. Studies show infected
I'm
humans
so
take more
fascinated
risks.
by
They
this. I'm
drive
like, oh,
aggressively.
wow.
Some researchers link it to personality changes, decision-making problems, even mental health issues. This is why Conplan 8888 exists. This is why the Pentagon plans. Because zombies aren't coming, they're already here.
Uh-oh. Well, fuck. Here we go.
Dr. Annie Liu was a molecular
Hypothetical story.
gerontologist and the latest darling of Silicon Valley. She discovered a telomere extending virus, the holy grail of life extension. She called it Project Lazarus.
Uh-huh.
The ultra-wealthy from all over the world poured billions into Lazarus. If there's one thing billionaires really hate doing, it's dying.
I don't know about you. I don't want to live forever.
Hit an impasse.
I feel like I'd be bored out of my fucking mind.
Perfectly in a petri dish, but once it was injected into a live rat, the rat died within hours.
Could it be the delivery vector? Maybe a cytokine cascade? Why do the telomeres lengthen, then trigger apoptosis? Immune storm in every test subject. Hours to death. What am I missing?
Potatoes! Potatoes are always the answer. Death rat! Fear the death rat! All must fear the death rat!
Dr. Liu checked the time. It was after 3 a.m., her third all-nighter in a row. She needed to get some sleep. Better to deal with this with fresh eyes.
Hello? I'm fine. It was just a hard day at the lab.
But Dr. Liu didn't realize how hard a day it was.
He ended the
She
world!
never noticed the 3-micron tear in her hazmat suit. A human hair is about 60 microns wide, but not the Lazarus virus. Those are 0.02 microns wide. Plenty of room for a virus to enter. In fact, that's enough room for hundreds of them to enter.
Of course I'm coming.
Wonderful!
I wouldn't
Stupendous!
miss my little sister's wedding for anything.
Dr. Liu took every precaution. N95 masks block particles 0.03 microns wide. But that's not enough to stop Lazarus. Even if Dr. Liu knew about the tear, she wouldn't have been that concerned. Lazarus wasn't an airborne virus.
Okay.
Lazarus only worked if it was injected directly into the bloodstream.
Okay. Then how did it get in her bloodstream?
But now Lazarus was airborne.
Oh, now it's air. Oh, that kind of airborne going on a plane. Patient zero! You know, this reminds me of the shit that went down in Warcraft years ago, and the CDC ended up using it for studies of massive outbreaks. It was when I think what was it, Zulaman or something? They figured out that you could put pets out, get them infected with this plague that the enemy used, and then unsummon your pet, and they would go away and keep the virus. So then when you resummon them, they still had it. So then they figured out that they could go to major cities and basically unleash this virus and spread it on purpose. And it was just interesting to study. You had, you know, the people that kept getting infected and dying, and then you had people that were trying to help and healers trying to help and stuff. And then you had the trolls that were running around and trying to purposefully spread more infection. You know, and it really put a view on people in general, like this was what an outbreak would be like. That there would be the people trying to spread it on purpose, and then the people doing their best to help, and then other people that are like, I have no idea what's going on. I played in that time too. I remember logging in Orgrimmar, and like all of a sudden I'm like dying. I'm like, what the fuck? I wasn't high enough level at the time, and I kept dying, and I was like, I would die, respawn, run a little bit further, die, respawn, run a little bit further until I got out of the city. And then I got the healing, and then I was like, okay, just stay away from people. It was it was such a pain in the ass.
The next zombie classification in Conplan 8888 are Z, radiation zombies. Organisms become zombies after absorbing extreme electromagnetic radiation. Nuclear accidents, dirty bombs, cosmic radiation. The Pentagon says any of these can create zombies.
Wonderful.
Solar flares bombard Earth with charged particles. A coronal mass ejection could expose entire populations to dangerous radiation. The 1859 Carrington event knocked out telegraph systems all over the world. A similar event today could deliver radiation doses that alter brain chemistry on a massive scale. After Chernobyl, emergency responders who entered the reactor core experienced rapid cellular breakdown. Some survivors reported hallucinations and aggressive behavior before dying. But radiation doesn't always kill. We covered how Chernobyl's dogs and wolves adapted to high radiation. An entirely new wolf species emerged, highly resistant to cancer. If radiation can create a new type of wolf, it can create a new type of human. And in the wrong hands, that human becomes the perfect soldier.
Radiation mutants!
88 calls these weaponized zombies. WZs are specifically created for military use. The Pentagon calls this a threat because the technology exists. And they should
They've
know.
done movies about this for years.
No, you're gonna get us canceled.
I meant,
They even touched on it in Puppet Master 3.
Nice save.
Set during Germany in the Yahtzee era.
During the Cold War, both superpowers developed psychochemical agents to incapacitate enemy forces. BZ, tested by the US Army, caused hallucinations and confusion. Similar compounds could create zombie symptoms. CRISPR gene editing alters organisms at the genetic level.
Cora!
Synthetic biology
Long time no see, missed you!
Biological systems. A hostile nation could engineer a pathogen that creates controllable zombies.
Controllable zombies? We already got those. They're called cable news viewers.
Conplan 8888 shows the military preparing for zombies that can come from anywhere, even outer space.
Do you think you'll be able to come to my birthday stream on Thursday?
Or result from alien contamination of Earth's
You're invited, even if you have to wait till the last minute. You can pop in whenever.
8888. Section 4, subsection 6, zombie summary.
Awesome.
4, space zombies. SZs are zombie life forms originating from space or created by toxic
We'll play some more of those Jackbox games like we did with the Survive the Internet and stuff. We'll have a good time.
NASA and the military already have protocols to prevent contamination from space missions.
Yes!
When Apollo astronauts returned from the moon, they spent 21 days in quarantine. The concern was that lunar microorganisms might be dangerous to life on Earth.
You mean when the astronauts returned from the soundstage in Burbank, they had to make sure they didn't pick up a bug from the San Fernando Valley?
Let's not do this now.
The Valley Flu, they call it. Symptoms include attraction to shopping malls, degraded parking skills, and an
We're currently watching the Conplan 8888, which is the government's plan on how to deal with a zombie
NASA
outbreak.
Protocols won't help if toxins land outside the jurisdiction of the United States. Because SCs come from space, they can affect any place on Earth.
U.S. Stratcom.
Ooh, okay.
Plan 8888, Section 4, subsection 5. Conditions for implementation, Part A, continued. Asteroids and nuclear space radiation that can convert people into zombies can affect any land mass or population on Earth. Given the rapidity at which zombie outbreaks spread, decisive, overwhelming, and possibly unilateral military force may be required to negate the zombie threat.
Real scientific research shows organisms survive where life should be impossible.
Right?
These extremophiles include tardigrades that withstand the vacuum of space. If similar organisms exist elsewhere in the solar system, they might be incompatible with human biology.
Damn,
Large
could you imagine
asteroids or
that?
comets could carry alien microorganisms or
Yeah, and alien virus that lands on the Earth and spreads and makes zombies that way. Wonderful.
radioactive materials. The Tunguska event in 1908 flattened over 1,000 square miles of Siberian forest. If a similar
You should definitely look up the Tunguska event. They actually mention it in the Ghostbusters movie. Ray talks about the Tunguska event.
impact happened over a populated area, alien contamination would spread before anyone could respond. Plan 8888 states nuclear weapons would be the most effective counter to space zombies. The logic, if contamination can't be contained, incineration at nuclear temperatures becomes the only option. But there's one zombie type that concerns the military more than any other. It can't be killed with conventional weapons. It can't be killed with nuclear weapons. The only way to fight this zombie is with God.
Hell, zombies! It's the end of the world as we know it.
Evil magic zombies. The
Evil
document
magic
actually
zombies.
uses those words.
That's what I
The
meant.
Pentagon has an official position on supernatural threats.
U.S. Stratcom, Plan 8888. Section 4, Subsection 6, Zombie Threat Summary, Part 3, Evil Magic Zombies. Of the classes of zombies, one type is caused by occult phenomena that cannot be reliably monitored, predicted, or proven to exist.
Zombie.
Zombies caused
I'm technically
by
not really a zombie. I'm an animated skeleton. There's a slight difference. I don't crave brains. I don't have flesh.
Zombie corpse. EMZs are the only class of zombie that may not.
See, the one thing that always concerned me about like The Walking Dead and other zombie movies was, given enough time, you know, the zombies rot. Eventually, they'll rot away completely. I mean, they'll just become skeletons, and then there's no more flesh for them to move. They still need muscle to move. Like this, what they're talking about, evil magic zombies, that might be different, magically animated. However, in the other ones, they've shown, like, headshots kill a zombie. Well, if they continue to rot, there will be no brain in there for them to shoot. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I've seen movies with zombie apocalypses that last way longer than they should, considering that, you know, they should be, the zombies should eventually be fucking dying out on their own from continuing to rot. But that's just my thought.
Be vulnerable to this measure. Despite being the hardest threats to eliminate directly by attacking the zombie life form, EMZs can usually be eliminated if the source of evil magic is destroyed. There is evidence to suggest the Chaplain Corps may prove integral to countering these threats.
The Chaplain Corps.
The military takes this seriously enough to assign the Chaplain Corps as primary defense. Now, think about that. The Pentagon believes...
Imagine that. A bunch of militaristic priests. Where have we heard that before? How many movies have done that idea? Military priests.
defeating these zombies might require divine intervention.
Oh, Jon Snow intervention.
Right.
Thousands of years ago, there came a night that lasted a generation. Kings froze to death in their castles, same as the shepherds in their huts. Women smothered their babies rather than see them starve, and wept and felt the tears freeze on their cheeks. So is it for the long night and the White Walkers. Oh, man.
I know what it is. But yes, White Walkers and Whites in Game of Thrones are evil magic zombies.
Yeah.
Fighting the supernatural isn't new to the military. During World War II, both sides employed occult research divisions. The Nazis had the Adenerva. The Allies had their own paranormal units. Churchill consulted astrologers. The U.S. Army investigated psychic warfare during the Cold War.
Yes, they did.
Now, it may seem that the military has everything figured out. They've identified each type of zombie threat. They understand how to fight them, but not so.
I know modern sensibilities say that the paranormal and other stuff like that, like the supernatural, are hokum and not worth it. But if you're, can you really say you've done everything if you haven't looked into even the fringe? I mean, even back then they were looking into it just in case. The Yazis, the British, even the U.S. were studying all kinds of stuff just to try to get an edge on them. So it wasn't just technology. I mean, now it's much more technology focused. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't doubt if there's still a paranormal kind of R&D department just in case. You know what I mean?
So fast. Buried on page 16 is a single unsettling section.
U.S. Stratcom, Con Plan 8888, Section 4, Subsection 13.3, Shortfalls and Limiting Factors. Adequate zombie defenses require sandbags, sand, barbed wire, anti-personnel mines, riot control chemical agents, and petroleum to create flame barriers. These supplies may
Walls
not
of
be
fire.
present in sufficient volume to defend against zombie incursion and could severely tax available logistical support infrastructure. U.S. Stratcom forces do not currently hold enough contingency stores, food, water, to support 30 days of barricaded counter-zombie operations, and U.S. Stratcom has no ground combat forces capable of repelling a zombie assault.
Ironically, a lot of the doomsday preppers that imagine like a nuclear fallout and have underground bunkers and stuff like that would actually be already prepared if a zombie apocalypse happened. It would be just as effective. And, you know, more to you. You know, my zombie plan was always to, for years when I lived in Florida, was to break into Walt Disney World. The Magic Kingdom specifically because of the underground tunnel. You can lock down the tunnels. There's plenty of food because they supply the whole park, thousands of guests daily. You know, you could survive for a good long time in a barricaded tunnel. If you, of course, you're going to have to clear out any zombies in the tunnels. But there's surveillance, security surveillance on the park, and all kinds of other stuff that you would have the benefit of if you needed to go topside. I think personally that was the idea I would have gone with, but you know, you do you.
Several zombie types identified, specific tactical recommendations, containment protocols, resource requirements, but not enough soldiers in the army to actually win. So the military created a new army, an army of millions of soldiers, all trained to survive the zombie apocalypse. And for years, these soldiers have been learning how to organize, how to fight, and how to rebuild civilization. This army has been built in secret, but also in plain sight.
It's us!
Because the soldiers of this army
are us! See? Told you. You watch zombie movies, it's a training video, and you didn't even know it.
The military knows
That's why
how
so
to
many
fight
people have
zombies.
zombie
They have a
plans.
plan, but they don't have the soldiers, so they created them. Us. The military developed a psychological operation that trained millions of civilians without them knowing it. The Walking Dead premiered on October 31st, 2010. The same year Con Plan 8888 finished development. World War Z started filming in 2011 and was released in 2013. The Last of Us game launched in 2013. All during the exact time this military document was finalized.
And then The Last of Us 2 fucking blew donkey dick.
Think about what these shows taught you. Survival tactics, supply management, team dynamics, trust no one, secure your perimeter, always have an escape plan.
Right?
Millions of Americans absorbed zombie apocalypse protocols through entertainment.
Yep.
Training was subtle, but effective. I've watched every Walking Dead
Exactly.
episode. Okay, I watched up
I
to
haven't
season
watched
5.
every episode.
I played the Last
I
of
got
Us
bored
games.
after like 3 or 4.
I played the first one. The Walking Dead, Last of Us, World War Z. We've all
I think
consumed
season
the
3 or
same
4, not
content,
episode.
and we learned the same lessons. The military didn't need boot camps, they had Netflix. But the PSYOP might distract from the real secret. Con Plan 8888 contains multiple references to classified annexes never released publicly. The document repeatedly mentions Annex C detailing space control capabilities. Page after page references classified sections stripped from the public version.
Right.
Annex S covers
No
special
doubt.
technical operations. Annex D handles classified logistics. Throughout the document, footnotes point to information marked secret or higher. The zombie scenarios were unclassified. The real military capabilities stayed hidden.
Right. Well, no
The
shit.
most telling detail is buried
I
in the
wouldn't have
technical
doubted
sections.
that.
Con Plan 8888 works alongside other military plans. Con Plan 8035 for space operations. Con Plan 8531 for flu pandemics. And Con Plan 8099 for combating WMDs. These are
Wonderful.
active military plans, not training exercises. Because the zombie plan is unclassified, it implies the threat isn't real. But the classified military capabilities are real. There's clearly some kind of threat. So the big question is, how do you survive it?
You watch those movies and you figure it out.
When the outbreak starts, you have about 48 hours before everything falls apart.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand.
Vincent Price!
The
Creatures crawl
Thriller.
in search of blood to terrorize
Why,
y'all's
y'all's neighborhood.
You got that out of your system?
Almost.
Great. The people who survive aren't lucky. They're prepared. Your location determines your survival. If you're in a city, get out fast. Cities become death traps. All those people packed together, that's a zombie buffet.
Right.
In a dense population center, the infection will spread faster than it can be contained.
Right.
Hospitals fill with infected who don't know what's happening to them. They stumble into emergency rooms and spread the virus to medical staff. And don't call 911. Police stations get overrun by panicked citizens looking for weapons. The smart cops go home to protect their families. The rest become casualties. You need to be somewhere remote. A cabin, a homestead, or a farm. If you don't own one, better know someone who does. Those places have what matters: food, water, and people who know how to defend them.
I don't have a farm, but I have a
Guns
house
are
out
loud.
surrounded
They
by
attract
farms.
attention you don't want. A bow and arrow works better. So does a knife, a bat, or a crowbar. Quiet weapons keep you alive longer. Skip the supermarkets. They're already swarming with desperate people.
Yeah, no shit.
You need supplies ready before disaster strikes. Prep a bug-out bag.
This is
Forget the
doomsday
bottled water.
prepping.
Carry water purification tablets or a life straw water filter. Iodine pills for radiation exposure. You'll need food. MREs last 30 years, but food is heavy. Better if you learn how to hunt, clean, and cook your own meals. Pack paracord rated for 500 pounds. It could be used for everything. Securing shelter, making tourniquets, starting fires.
Ah,
and it works
goddamn
as
bots.
fishing line. Pack a solar radio, solar flashlight, real band-aids, and N95 masks. Take signaling mirrors and whistles. Toothbrush, toothpaste, toiletries. When you're stuck in the wild, you'll be happy you remembered those. In my kit, I keep thermal blankets, a small propane stove, and glow sticks. I've got a fire starter, a multi-tool, 3 different kinds of knives. Bring a
See, I
needle
couldn't
and
have
thread,
something like
good for
that.
repairing
Not
clothes
because
and
I
sewing
wouldn't want to
wounds.
buy one,
And if you don't have the
but
stomach to
because
stitch a
my
cut,
kids would go through
crazy
it and
glue
take
will
the
do an
shit out
inch.
of it.
And don't forget duct tape. It fixes everything and reinforces
Yes.
barricades.
Duct
I even
tape.
keep mini bug-out bags in all my vehicles. You can pick one up for about $40, and I'll link below to the gear I use.
I vouch for Gorilla duct tape. It's
Once you're out
very
of the
powerful.
chaos, find a place where you can rest. Watch your lines of sight. Learn to set a perimeter, trip wires and snares, anything to alert you to danger. And find other people. Pull resources. Exchange knowledge and skills.
I have very little
Know your
trust of
strengths,
trust
and
of
find
other
people
people.
to shore up your weaknesses. Some people are fighters. Some are farmers. Some are planners. Some are builders. There's safety in numbers. But when connecting with strangers, trust your gut. Whether it's Conplan 8888 or some generic survival guide, they'll tell you the same thing. When the end of the world comes, the most dangerous thing you'll face isn't zombies, it's other people.
Bum, bum, bum.
We followed Conplan 8888 from a zombie outbreak at Offutt Air Force Base through classified space operations and potential psychological warfare. The military
Wonderful.
created detailed protocols for fighting the undead. So, what's actually real? Well, Conplan 8888 is exactly what the Pentagon says it is, a training exercise. Junior officers created it to learn planning procedures. Using an impossible scenario avoids diplomatic problems. So rather than create a plan to defeat Russians or Chinese, the enemies are evil magic zombies. Everyone understands it's practice.
Evil magic
the zombie
zombies!
psyop theory also doesn't hold up. The timing of Conplan 8888 being released
Now,
at the same
how do you
time
know
as zombie
necessarily
movies and
that they're
TV shows
evil?
wasn't coordination, it was coincidence. Hollywood always
Evil's
follows the
a
money.
matter of
Remember
perspective.
we had 10 or 15 years of superhero movies, released one after the other, now not so much?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Disney.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
We had
Disney.
zombies before
Fucking it up.
Conplan 8888. White Zombie came out in 1932. George Romero created modern zombies with Night of the Living Dead in 1968. Dawn of the
Classic.
Dead in 1978 set the template for everything that followed. The Walking Dead comics started in 2003. Studios see profit and then flood the market. But dismissing this as just a joke would be a mistake. Conplan 8888 connects to real military plans.
Right.
Conplan 8035, Conplan 8531, Conplan 8099. These aren't exercises, they're
And I have a feeling
operational.
a lot of us are fucked in those little hidden parts.
The plan's real value is seeing the military acknowledge how fast society could collapse. It admits there are scenarios where the military can't win. A plan to defeat zombies is hard for the public to take seriously, but maybe that's the point. Maybe Conplan 8888 is a clever distraction. The story isn't in the document they show us, it's in the documents they hide. Conplan 8888 repeatedly references classified annexes that were stripped from the public version, but we know they exist. We just don't know what they are. We know they reference space-based operations, but we don't know what threats they address or what capabilities they describe, and they're not going to tell us.
lasers!
And that's why I believe Conplan 8888 is an important document. In some ways, it paints the American people as distracted and selfish, and there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
But things change in a crisis. To save our families and our communities, people will
I'll
step
agree with
up.
that.
Not everyone, but enough to matter. And whether intentional or not, Conplan 8888 teaches valuable lessons about preparation and resource management. Those are good skills to learn, and start learning them now. When society collapses, nobody's coming to save us. We are the first responders. So train like one. Prepare like one. The difference between a life
the
lost
first
and a life
responder.
saved could be you. So get to know your neighbors, learn how to communicate, how to plan, how to survive. If you don't learn these skills now, it could come back to bite you.
What the fuck? Cause this is Thriller!
Thank you so much for hanging out today. My name is AJ. This is Uncle Vish.
And know you fight to stay alive, your body starts to
The shiver.
For no mere mortal can
Can
resist
resist
the
the
evil
of the Thriller.
Good point.
This is
Right, that is really highly copyrighted. They're very friggin' touchy about that shit. I tried to do something with that. Human hybrids. Oh my god, that's long as fuck. But it's volume 5. I gotta cover it, but god damn, it's almost 3 hours fucking long. Oh, it's a compilation. Cryptids compilation 5. Yeah, I don't really want to cover a friggin' 3-hour episode. Holy shit. But I think that wraps up Cryptids pretty well. Let's see, let's go back to the paranormal. The Mothman returns. Life after death, communicating with the other side. Ghost lights or alien tech. It's a Kenny Beach quest for the MK. I've heard of this one before. I definitely want to cover this. Okay, ads over in about 4 seconds. I can wait. All right, we've pretty much wrapped up the cryptid, so we're gonna go over to the paranormal, the other paranormal stuff. This one's about I've seen this one before, but it's interesting. I want to go over it again. Kenny Beach vanishes on his quest for the MK, Mojave Mysteries, Volume 1.
This episode of the Y-Files is brought to you by Fishing Clash. To most, the Mojave Desert looks like a barren wasteland.
It's a fucking
Jagged
desert!
rock, swirling sand, and scrub brush. But the Mojave is full of life. It's been home to native tribes for thousands of years. And the Mojave is also home to many caves that hold many secrets. Some caves are reported to be secret entrances to underground bases. And not all of those bases are occupied by humans.
Where's the portal to hell?
Other caves are rumored to be portals to different places on Earth, or portals to different dimensions. There are caves in the desert that cause even the most experienced explorers
it gets
to
all
run
up
away
in your crack
fear.
and everything. You're
But
like,
when
how
they
did you
gather
get
their
sand in
courage
there?
and return to the caves, they can't find them. They're gone. Year after year, adventurers scour the Mojave trying to solve these mysteries. Some brave souls return with incredible stories. But others go out into the desert, and they're never seen again.
Bum, bum, bum.
Human! What? Human! Human, get in here! It's an emergency!
Look, I can't. I'm in the middle of something.
Will you put
What?
Seymour and Seymour down
Are
and
you
just get the hell
choking
over
your-
here?
choking your
It's
chicken?
an emergency.
Right, it's an emergency. Fine, you lured me over here. What's with the weird hat?
Oh, I'm sorry, Pot. You can just call me Kettle.
What do you want?
I need help tackling a problem.
Fine, I'll bite. What's going on?
Well, grab your iPad and scan the QR code.
What QR code?
Hello? The one that's on the screen right now?
Oh, that QR code. A mobile game. Fishing Clash?
Yep.
A game where you catch fish?
What? You don't play first-person shooters? This is an FFS.
Or fuck?
First Fishing Simulator.
Ah, that makes more sense. Okay, I downloaded the game. What are we doing?
We're gonna do a PvP battle. Me versus you. Man versus fish. Mano a finno.
Wait a minute. Is this today's sponsor?
Oh, caught that, did you?
I hate the sand too. Oh my god.
Sponsor Fishing Clash. It's
All
a
right,
super
we're skipping
realistic
Fishing Clash.
simulator for anglers on the go. In
Anglers on the
But was
go.
especially a
Okay, wait,
that?
too fast.
And was that?
God damn it.
These are
Where's
real
the in between?
bragging rights.
All right, I'm hooked. But I gotta get Seymour back before he starts to ooze.
Gross.
How many fishing puns was that? Huh, a new record. All right, catch you later. One for the road.
Kenny Veach had a passion for the wilderness, but was especially attracted to the Mojave Desert. Where most people see nothing but sand and scrub brush, Kenny saw a beautiful and vibrant ecosystem.
And I just came across this fellow. It's been a while since I saw one. It's a nice little Mojave Desert tortoise.
Kenny also had an interest in aliens and UFOs. He lived in Las Vegas and often hiked the desert not far from Area 51. He also spent a lot of time watching YouTube videos about aliens and conspiracy theories. One of his favorite channels
The
was...
Y-Files.
No, the Y-Files wasn't around yet. But I have a feeling
Yeah.
he would have liked this channel.
What's
Probably.
not to like?
Check the comment section, they'll tell you.
Yeah, no thanks. If I want to be insulted,
Ignore the comment
I'll just
section.
call my ex-wife.
Unless
Which
they're
ex-wife? You
compliments.
have 3.
Exactly.
And then you tell them, give me more.
A channel Kenny watched a lot is Serious Disclosure, run by Dr. Stephen Greer, who I'm sure you know. But in case you
No, I
don't,
don't.
Dr. Greer has been one of the loudest voices pushing for the government to reveal what it knows about UFOs and aliens. One video caught Kenny's attention. It was about alternative energy being researched at Area 51.
When they had tested a device that was supposed to be a new type.
Okay, let me say this. Maybe Area 51 at some point did alien shit or some weird shit over there. I don't think they do it there anymore. It's got way too big a spotlight on it. And if anyone had any common sense, they would move it. I'm sure they still have high security there because people are still looking. And if they keep looking, you know, they're going to keep having security. You know what I mean? It's the distraction. Look over here. Look over here. Well, why do they have such high security? There must be something in it, right? And it keeps people looking where, you know, where they want them to instead of where the stuff actually is. You get what I'm saying? I don't think there's anything at Area 51 anymore. I'm sure there's stuff. It's just not there. You get what I'm saying?
Type of energy source, and they had taken it out into the range, and it had literally blown up when they tried to activate it.
People in the comments exchanged stories about strange phenomena that they had experienced. Kenny also weighed in.
This ain't nothing. I am a long-distance hiker. One time during one of my hikes out by Nellis Air Force Base, I found a hidden cave. The entrance to the cave was shaped like a perfect capital M. I always enter every cave I find, but as I began to enter this particular cave, my whole body began to vibrate.
Whatever it was
Awkward.
that Kenny was feeling seemed to be coming
He
from
became his
inside
own
the
vibrator.
cave.
The closer I got to the cave entrance, the worse the vibrating became. Suddenly, I became
Awkward.
very scared and hightailed it out of there. That was one of the strangest things that ever happened to me.
No,
I'm sure
not
it
me.
wasn't
I
Kenny's
got married.
intention, but he created one of the biggest internet mysteries in history, a rabbit hole known as the M Cave.
The M Cave. Bum, bum, bum.
Tons of people responded to Kenny's comment. He went back and
I'm
forth
sure.
with people online for about 4 months. Most were just internet trolls, which made Kenny defensive.
I solo hike across mountaintops that most people wouldn't dare go. I have been in more caves than I can count. I play with rattlesnakes for fun.
Some commenters thought he was making it all up. Others said it was probably just an ordinary cave and Kenny was dehydrated, so he was seeing things. Kenny was an extreme hiker. He often went on desert hikes with nothing but a candy bar and a small bottle of water. Now, this is very unwise and extremely dangerous, but Kenny was proud of his ability to survive the desert with minimal provisions.
I started at 7 o'clock, but I'm thinking the sun might be down by the time I get back to my truck, because I didn't bring a whole lot of water and I only got like one candy bar to get me through, but I like roughing it that way.
But Kenny insisted
That sounds
there was
like
something really off
an
about this
accident
cave.
waiting to happen to me.
This one particular cave was beyond anything I had ever encountered. Someday I'll go back and I'll bring a weapon with me. All I had at the time was a knife and a wrist rocket.
They challenged Kenny to go back and find this mysterious M cave, if there even was such a thing. Kenny Veach could not back down from a challenge. He insisted the M cave was real. Once the weather cooled down, Kenny was ready to try to relocate the M cave. And, as promised, he brought his camera with him. He documented his search on his own YouTube channel.
And I'm looking for a cave that I found, and I didn't have a sidearm when I was here before. And
He got one now.
This cave just spooked me. Out of all the caves I've ever gone in, this one just made my body vibrate. The closer I got to it, the crazier my body felt. And I was
Well, he
like,
does
all
look
right,
like
I'm
he's
not gonna
well
go in there
prepared.
right now, but I'm coming back someday.
The online community was thrilled. The
Of
search
course.
for the M cave was on.
We're going back!
Kenny Veach was no stranger to the Mojave. He was an extreme hiker. Kenny didn't follow trails, he blazed them.
It's rare for me to take the same hike twice. I don't use trails, and I cover extremely long distances. It's brutal on the feet. I often will lose 1 or 2 toenails after one of my longer hikes. Yes, this is what I do for fun.
Kenny headed off in the direction of the M cave.
Honey, they're talking about a guy, he's a long distance hiker, and he's like, yeah, I do this for fun. Sometimes on some of my longer hikes, I'll lose 1 or 2 toenails. Like her face. She's looking at me like, yeah, what is it? And then I said, lost 1 or 2 toenails in her face. And he's like, yeah, I do this for fun. So the face. Yeah, I roll. What is it? Losing toenails. Ah!
And if you watch his video, you can tell that he's pretty confident that he could find it again.
It's shaped like it's shaped just like the letter M, and it's about level with the ground, like in an area like this. So I really got to keep my eyes peeled because I don't want to pass it.
But despite his confidence, Kenny was ultimately disappointed.
Well, I did not find the cave. I mean, I thought for sure I was just gonna be able to find it. I remember it being fairly easy. Who knows?
Kenny returned to YouTube to break the bad news to everyone who had been waiting for an update. Even though Kenny was disappointed, he was still determined to find the M cave. He knew it was out there somewhere. He just needed more time in the desert to find it.
I'm going again this weekend. I'll be hiking solo for 3 days. I plan on covering about 40 miles. There are many caves. I have been in hundreds of them. The M cave is the only cave I ever feared going inside. I really
Too bad you didn't mark it on a map or something.
By now,
I
the
so
M
wish.
cave wasn't just Kenny's obsession. Thousands of people were following the story.
Yeah, a lot of people
Everybody in
tried
the
to find
comments
the M
encouraged
cave.
Kenny to go back out and find it. Well, not everybody.
No, do not go back there. If you find that cave entrance, don't go in. If you do, you won't get out.
That was a strange and ominous comment. Kenny even replied asking, "What makes you say that?" But Kenny didn't receive a reply, just more encouragement to return to the desert. So on November 10th, 2014, Kenny Veach packed enough supplies for a 3-day hike and once again ventured out into the Mojave Desert. But whether he found the M cave or not, we'll never know, because Kenny Veach was never seen again.
Damn the man, save the empire.
When Kenny Veach didn't return from his 3-day solo hike into the Mojave Desert,
He goes for a 3-day hike. He does this for fun. It's a regular thing for him, so he knows how to take care of himself. He's done this many times. The one time he goes, I'm definitely going to find this cave, and then he never comes back. He already knows he's afraid of the cave, so he's armed. He has a sidearm. He has supplies, and he has experience. And this what caused him to disappear? That's sus as fuck. It's not like some random guy from the city going on a treasure hunt. This guy does this all the fucking time.
His girlfriend Sharon knew something was wrong.
And he was overly
him
prepared.
Missing on November 14th, and search and rescue teams immediately began combing the area. Kenny's car was easily found, so at least searchers knew where to start. Kenny had left clues about his intended destination in the videos and comments he posted online. He pointed to and named specific mountains and valleys.
And I head off in that direction. I just go that direction, and that's west, heading towards, that's Mount Charleston, that big mountain out there. That's the Mount Charleston range.
Searchers were able to approximate the region Kenny would have been exploring when searching for the M Cave.
Right.
Helicopters scanned the desert from the air. On the ground, a large team searched canyons and cliffs where Kenny might have fallen. Nothing.
Go
Not
figure.
just no trace of Kenny, but no trace of a campsite or anything that would indicate anybody was out there. A major break came on November 22nd, but it was almost too obvious. In Kenny's video, he spends a lot of time in front of an old mine shaft.
I'm gonna take the
It's a
camera,
landmark that he would
show
know
you how
about.
deep this hole is and kind of show you around real quick. This is kind of iffy. I'm gonna step on this thing. It's very old, but I'll just show you down inside that hole. That goes way down in there. If you fell, that'd be it. You'd be a goner.
When searchers got to the mine shaft, they found Kenny's cell phone. It wasn't damaged. It wasn't even scratched. It had plenty of battery left. It's like the phone was just placed there.
Huh, that
if
is
Kenny
odd.
had fallen in that mine shaft, he could have easily been killed, but cameras were sent down and there was no sign of him. Search and rescue now focused their attention on the area around the mine shaft. Even doing a grid search inch by inch, there was nothing. Search dogs were brought in. They couldn't pick up his scent. He wasn't bitten
That's
by a
fucking
snake.
weird as
There would be
shit.
signs of that. He
Yeah.
wasn't attacked by animals. There would be signs of that too. There would be blood, clothes, human remains, but there was nothing. There wasn't a drop of blood anywhere, not for miles. It's like Kenny Veach just vanished into thin air. But people following the story online thought the search parties were looking in the wrong place. They believe Kenny stumbled somewhere he didn't belong.
On the other side of these mountains, I'll show you in a second, is the bombing range, the Nellis Air Force bombing range.
Do you
That's
know
a
what
red
else
flag.
is on the Nellis Air Force bombing range? Area 51.
Bum, bum, bum.
The United States government owns most of the land in Nevada. In fact, it owns over 80% of the entire state.
And corporations own 100% of the politicians.
Look at this map. Only the areas in white are privately owned. The government owns the rest. So Kenny Veach was hiking and disappeared on government land. If we look at Kenny's last known location, it's not that far from Area 51. Now, it's fair to say that it's still really far to go on foot in the desert, but the government doesn't just guard Area 51, they guard all the land around it, and they will not let you get close.
Huh.
If you try, you'll start seeing black helicopters. Try to get closer, the infamous white pickup trucks will appear. The white trucks will watch and wait and make sure that you don't cross into a restricted area.
They're watching us up there.
Yeah, that's their job.
Yeah.
Now, normally just the sight of the white truck is enough to scare people off.
No
but once
shit.
in a while, someone pushes their luck.
Of course, because people are dumb.
Yours are still off. Whoa. Whoa.
That does not look like friendly park rangers checking to see if they need help.
No, it does not. These two bikers wanted to see what would happen if they crossed the line by just a few inches.
Put your hands up. Put your f***ing hands up. I'm not going to tell you again. Turn around.
Oh,
You couldn't
shit.
even count to 2 Mississippi until the guns were out. Then the bikers were treated to a
Damn.
very aggressive pat-down.
Yeah,
And here's
no
something
shit.
interesting. Who are these guys? Army? Those look like U.S. Army combat jackets, but there's no branch tape. You'd expect to see US Army or US Air Force on their left chest. Are they military police? There's no unit insignia or unit patch. They don't have any rank insignia either. They don't even have the American flag on their jackets.
Like I said, I think that's all misdirection and stuff like that. You get video like this and it makes people ask all those questions, and that's probably their intent, is to make it look like Area 51 is this big, ominous, scary place, so that the government can go, look over here, look over here, look at the big scary place, look at all the weird stuff that happens, while they're doing the actual weird shit somewhere else. That's just my opinion.
And most amazing of all, they don't wear name tapes either. Who were they? They could be anybody. These guys are ghosts. In this case, the bikers were lucky and allowed to leave. But that was a tense situation that looked like it could go sideways very easily. Some have speculated that Kenny Veach might have wandered a little too close to a restricted area. So the search was back on. But this time it wasn't the Nevada Red Rock Search and Rescue Team.
Well, yeah, you got to think, if that was their armed response to just a couple bikers there, and the bikers were already like throwing their hands up and stuff like that, Kenny Veach showed that he was carrying a sidearm openly. It's very clear. If he even slightly went for that sidearm, who knows if he got shot and they disappeared him because of an oopsie. So it'd be a lot easier to disappear someone out in the desert than to try to explain it. I'm just saying, this is just speculation and, you know, more of the fucking crazy conspiracy theory ideas. But think about it. Out in the fucking the Las Vegas desert, how many people got disappeared by the mafia? You think what? The government's above that? Look at all the experiments that were brought to light years later, and they're like, for years they're like, that never happened. That never. Yeah, it was us.
Doing the searching, hikers, survivalists, and investigators started retracing Kenny's steps, looking for clues that might lead them to the M Cave or to Kenny. But to do that, they'd have to cross into some dangerous territory. Then, about 2 years ago, one YouTuber got a tip from a friend in the military. His friend said he knew the location, but it was on restricted land. This YouTuber took a huge risk going after the mysterious M Cave.
No shit.
But he found it.
Supposedly.
When Kenny Veach went missing without a trace, the internet exploded with theories. Did Kenny run into mobsters or drug dealers and became a witness to something nefarious? Or maybe he found a cave to seek shelter, only to discover it was already occupied. There are a few people living off-grid in the desert, and those people want to be left alone. But Kenny was armed. Even if he did run into the wrong people, there would have been evidence of a struggle. If shots were fired, there would be grass, but there was nothing. The theories kept pointing to Kenny accidentally wandering too close to a military operation. His last known location was in between Nellis Air Force Base and Edwards, home of Area 51.
I don't know. I still think that the Area 51 thing is too easy of an explanation.
If Kenny stumbled upon one of those entrances,
it could be, but I don't know.
He might have gotten himself deleted.
It feels too on the nose.
A couple of years ago, a YouTuber with the handle Abandoned Mines 11 set out to find the M Cave, and he wouldn't start at the mine shaft. He went right toward Area 51. After a long hike and following the tip he got from a friend in the military, he believed he found the M Cave. The first thing that looks out of place is the stacked rocks. Clearly someone piled those, but why?
And I don't know, the way Kenny described it, remember in his video, he said it's level with the ground, so it looks like that. That doesn't really look like what he described. You know what I mean? Level with the ground? That doesn't look like level, it looks like a sheer rock face.
A bottle and some old pieces of wood strewn about,
I mean,
so somebody was definitely here at some point. People have speculated that some caves around the base have doors or hatches. There's no sign of that, but there are some strange scratch marks on one of the cave walls. We get a nice reverse angle that shows the entrance really is shaped like an M, and it's the right height. Kenny said it was less than 6 feet high.
Okay.
When I watched this video for the first time, it was interesting enough,
vibrate?
but it didn't feel like the right cave. But then an old piece of metal is seen poking out from the rubble.
Okay, Area 51.
Whoa!
restricted area. No trespassing. Use of
Go
deadly
figure.
force authorized. Well, I think it's time for me to get out of here.
Over the course of a year, that video got so many views that Abandoned Mines 11 decided to go back and film an update. But he couldn't.
It's gone.
So some new developments here at the M Cave. It looks like they've installed a
new sign.
Restricted area sign right there.
The cave itself was now a restricted area. Some people online pointed out that this couldn't be the cave. The M Cave was becoming so well known and so many people were searching for it that if it existed, the government would cover it up. They'd wall it off or fill it in. They wouldn't leave the cave open. That's true, but a walled off cave with an M-shaped entrance? M Cave hunters didn't see that as a deterrent. They saw it as another clue. And that clue led to another M Cave.
Another one. Go figure.
Almost as soon as Kenny Veach went missing, Sean Horlacher went searching. In the description, you'll find links to his channel and all the others that I've mentioned today. Over 4 years, Sean went on multiple hikes, sometimes overnight, and covered about 75 miles of desert. He used Kenny's videos for reference and retraced his tracks.
Can't handle it.
Sean parks where Kenny parked. He walks through the same rugged canyon that Kenny walked. He keeps the mine shaft in sight as a point of reference. Sean follows the same path that Kenny took. He points out various rock formations that are clearly natural, but then he comes to a rock formation that looks very out of place.
Okay.
It's not an M-shaped cave, it's an M-shaped opening filled in with a different kind of rock. Sean finds holes that indicate there's something behind the rock. He finds a seam that looks too straight, too perfect.
You have this seam.
Yeah.
That's running.
That does look
like a foundation almost.
He feels that some of the rocks are loose.
But that moves, which means this one right here will move too. I can feel it. I can nudge it.
Sean's pretty confident that he's found the M Cave.
So for the record, the M Cave did exist, I think.
Now that looks like a pretty good candidate to me.
Yeah,
it's not as perfect of an M as I was hoping for.
It looks more like
but
his
there's definitely
description
something
too.
strange going on with those rocks. If you watch Sean's full video, you'll see him poking around and getting some really close-up shots of the rocks. But we're still missing a piece of this mystery. Remember how Kenny said that he felt uneasy near the cave, and the closer he got, the worse he felt? He described it as a vibration that was making his body literally shake. Kenny described feeling fear that grew worse as he got closer to the cave.
Well, that makes
sense. But Sean
sense.
didn't seem afraid. He wasn't experiencing any effects from being near the cave at all. He seemed fine.
That could just be simple paranoia,
But a
though.
few minutes later, Sean was hit with a wave of nausea. He couldn't explain it. It came out of nowhere. He tried to breathe through it, but...
Well, didn't they say it was a bomb testing area? What if there was leftover radiation and they're suffering, what they're feeling is fucking effects of radiation? Has anyone gone out there with a Geiger counter?
That cave really doesn't want people near it. Get too close and...
Ew! I could have done without that. I got the point
For about
already.
4 straight minutes, Sean was vomiting and dry heaving. The further he got away from the cave, the better he felt.
Please don't show it again. Don't show it again. I can't.
I won't show anymore.
Thank you. Oof.
Thank you.
I shouldn't have had those burritos for lunch. Now they're not sitting so well. Oops. Pardon me.
So Sean getting sick is another clue. There's a piece of military tech called an active denial system, or ADS. It's basically a heat ray. ADS emits high-frequency radiation that penetrates a fraction of an inch into the skin and heats it. It's similar to how a microwave heats food. But there is a way to protect yourself from an ADS attack.
How?
Aluminum cooking foil.
A tinfoil hat is a heat ray helmet?
Yep.
The level of my genius grows with each passing day.
Another piece of military tech that could have been used on Kenny and Sean is an infrasound weapon. The audio frequencies that can be heard by the human ear range from 20 hertz to 20,000
I believe this was
hertz.
used recently.
Anything above 2,000 hertz is considered treble. Anything below 200 hertz is considered bass. So if
I'm
the,
all about that bass. That
The
bass,
bass
no
in
trouble.
trouble.
if the,
Every inch of you is perfect from the bottom to the top.
If the human body is exposed to frequencies lower than 20 hertz at high decibel levels, bad things happen. It can cause
Bad
nausea,
things
disorientation, vomiting, internal organ damage, or even loss of bowel control.
The brown note.
Right. The brown note is a hypothetical
note.
frequency that supposedly causes someone's organs to resonate, leading to involuntary defecation.
Have you heard about that, dear? The brown note? Have you've never heard of the brown note? There's supposedly a pitch, a note, that is just the right frequency, I know, that it can cause your bowels to vibrate and cause an involuntary evacuation. Would you imagine somebody that just had that as like a keychain? That would deter a robbery. Oh, damn, he shit himself!
Yeah.
What?
The staff that made them throw up.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the brown note is much funnier. I think he shit himself!
Mythbusters even tested this on Adam. He said he was uncomfortable, but fortunately he was able to maintain control of his bowels.
Ah, that's okay. There's already enough crap on TV.
Agreed. In 2016, people at the American Embassy in Cuba started becoming violently ill with no apparent cause. Low-frequency weapons were suspected. This illness became known as Havana syndrome. The Cuban government denied this, of course, but as soon as the U.S. started investigating, the illnesses stopped.
Go figure!
There are even stranger theories about what could have happened to Kenny. Some people say he stepped into a portal to another dimension, or Kenny came in contact with a race of aliens. Former U.S. Airman Charles James Hall worked at various bases in Nevada in the 60s. He claimed to have had contact with aliens who flew a tic-tac-shaped spacecraft.
Bullshit.
These aliens were called the Tall Whites.
The Tall Whites. That sounds like the name of a losing basketball team. What?
I thought it was funny.
Hall says the U.S. government has agreements with the Tall Whites and many other alien races, and these aliens have underground bases all over the desert. We covered the Dulce base in another episode, but the story about the Tall Whites is a good one too, so let me know if you want me to cover it.
Yes, please.
But there is another very interesting theory about Kenny Veach, that he's not captured or missing or dead, that he's very much alive. And there's camera footage to prove it.
Oh, really? Let us see this footage.
In 2013, after 17 years working as a service tech for a coffee company, Kenny Veach quit. He wanted to follow his passions and live life on his own terms. Kenny dedicated his time to creative pursuits like art and inventing. He even designed a product and a Shark Tank pitch.
You just pull that, put the other one in, and let go. And right now it's not precise because I used hand tools, but you get the picture. It works perfect and it's beautiful, and that's it right there. That's the new improved toilet paper roll.
They passed on that one. He also invented a Glowler bear.
That's the Glowler bear. I designed the can and put all the stuff on it. Now there was a glow-in-the-dark polar bear in here that I sewed myself, and he is so cool, and I've seen nothing like it on the market. This has all the information about polar bears and the trouble they're in, so this is a great idea, but you get to see this when you get to see me.
These ideas never got off the ground. He tried to stay positive, but without a steady paycheck, he was burning through all of his savings.
The redneck whistle. Now I designed this, not on a computer. These are stamps that I made myself. And let me tell you something, when you whistle into it, this thing, watch this. Woo, so loud, so cool. This is what it looks like.
By late 2014, Kenny was almost broke. His house was on the verge of foreclosure. In a last-ditch effort, he tried to sell his house in an unconventional way, offering himself as a live-in caretaker to potential buyers.
And I'm selling myself with the home. What I mean by that is I would become a caretaker, an all-around caretaker. Kind of like Alice from the Brady Bunch. She took care of all those kids' needs, along with the
This is a horrible
cooking and
idea.
the cleaning and all
I
the
don't
things
think
that she
that this
did.
says a lot for his
only
mental
thing I wouldn't do is
capacity. I
put the
mean, just my
bluegrass.
opinion.
With Kenny out of money and losing his home, some people, including some of his family, thought he might have faked his own death, that he went off grid for a while and came back with a new identity. Not many people took this theory seriously, but in 2018, something bizarre happened. Kenny's sister-in-law Debbie owns a business in Las Vegas called the Enchanted Forest Reiki Center. It's a type of shop where you buy crystals, candles, incense, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In 2018, someone broke into the shop. It's all on camera. And the guy who broke in, it looks like Kenny. It was a strange break-in. The only thing he stole was an iPad on his way out the door. Kenny's mother, Susan, is convinced it's him. Is it Kenny? It's really hard to tell. Kenny's mother says it is. Kenny's daughter, Victoria, says it might be. Debbie and most other people, including the police, don't think it's him. But most of Kenny's family think that it's possible Kenny is still out there somewhere, that the financial stress was becoming too much. The failure of his inventions was demoralizing. So he packed up some gear and headed out to the Mojave Desert, and from there started a new life. They believe he intentionally left his cell phone by the mine shaft so it couldn't be tracked. The people posting on Kenny's and other YouTube channels didn't buy it. Kenny was such a positive guy, he wouldn't just leave. He has a daughter. He had people in his life that loved him. MCave fans just wouldn't accept that Kenny would intentionally disappear. They believed he went out in search of the M Cave just like he said he would. But as the investigation into Kenny Veach continued, followers of the story got some grim news. When Kenny left for the desert that morning, he didn't take his camera with him, but he did take his gun.
That's sad too.
The mystery of Kenny Veach and the M Cave is one of the most requested topics on this channel. Kenny disappeared almost 10 years ago, but the story still fascinates people, including me. The story has everything. The lure of the unknown, the M Cave.
Now,
There's an element of danger, the extreme condition.
I'm not sure if I'm mixing up this story with another one, but I thought that years later that they did finally find remains. Again, I've just heard so many of these stories, it's hard to tell which one's which. I know one of like a missing hiker that did something similar. They were out in the desert looking for something supernatural, whether it be something special like either treasure or the M Cave or whatever. They went out to the desert, they disappeared, no one could find them, blah blah blah. But then years later they found human remains in the desert that seemed to be that person. I don't know if it was this one specifically.
Of the desert that put Kenny and anyone who followed him in constant risk. But how much of this mystery is true? Are there things that we can debunk? Well, there are, but there still are a lot of questions. That's another reason the story endures. There's no closure, there's no resolution. Until we get answers, this mystery will continue to captivate. So, what do we know? Were any of the caves we looked at today the M Cave? Well, there's
I think the second one seemed more likely, in my opinion.
Say yes, they followed Kenny's directions to the.
In my opinion, I think that one looks more like the description that Kenny gave on the video. Yes, there does seem to be obvious seams, like somebody definitely blocked it up on purpose. It is hollow behind, and his vomiting and sickness and the earlier description of vibrations and stuff would make sense.
The letter. But even Kenny contradicts himself a little.
And it's about as tall as I am, and kind of.
Let me look. Let me look right now. Hold on. Building. No, not what I wanted. We'll go back, please. There we go. Remains officially missing. No trace of him. Okay, so he's not the one that they found remains of. Okay. So then it must have been another case.
Kind of narrow, and it's
I
stuck
just
on the
wanted to
side
get
of a mountain.
confirmation.
And it's it's about level with the ground, like in an area like this.
So is the M cave stuck on the side of a mountain, or is it on ground level? If it's ground level, Kenny walked right past it and didn't notice. Look at this shot from Kenny's video.
Yeah.
Now this shot from Sean's video. That's the same rock formation.
Yeah, I think that is. I think that is. And he overlooked it because it was covered up. And he was even saying in the video, I didn't think it would be this hard to find it. Like, he thought he was looking in the right area. So having it covered up is probably why he missed it.
If that's the M cave, even if it was covered up, wouldn't Kenny have noticed it?
Not
I would
necessarily.
Think so, but maybe not. He's not experiencing any vibrations or the effects he described earlier, so maybe he just didn't notice. Sean found the cave in 2018. Kenny was there in 2014 and possibly earlier. If that cave was intentionally covered, by the time Sean got there, it had been covered for years. Also, if there was technology near the cave that was making Sean sick, that tech wasn't operating when Kenny walked by. He stopped for a bit right in front of that rock formation. He didn't mention feeling anything. As for the break-in video, Kenny's mom says it's him, but it isn't. That footage has been run through facial recognition software. It's been examined by experts. That's not Kenny. Kenny's girlfriend Sharon tries to offer some closure, but it's not good news. Kenny had struggled with depression for many years, but he didn't want to talk to a therapist or try medication. He told Sharon that depression is like losing an arm. You just get used to it. In the months leading up to his disappearance, Sharon noticed that Kenny was getting more withdrawn and seemed sad. Understandable considering his financial struggles and failing businesses. Eventually, Kenny told Sharon that his father had taken his own life, and he never really healed from it. When police searched Kenny's computer, they discovered he was reading a lot of dark topics about how to hurt himself. They also found an eerie and sad document. Kenny had written, "Help me," over and over and over again. Sharon believes Kenny went out into the desert with no intention of returning. She believes he left his cell phone so he couldn't be tracked. He then found a cave in a remote part of the desert and never came out. If that's true, it's such a sad ending to one of the best modern mysteries. But other people in Kenny's family, especially his daughter Victoria, resist the theory. Kenny had such a vibrant, adventurous spirit. To take his own life would be extremely out of character. Also, even though Kenny had burned through most of his savings on his inventions, he wasn't in a lot of debt. He was intelligent, personable, and had a wide variety of skills. It would have been easy for Kenny to find work if he wanted to, but Sharon said he never wanted to work for anyone again. And Kenny also had a support structure. His mother, his brother, his daughter, and Sharon, they were all there for Kenny. He never had to be alone if he didn't want to be. But depression can be crippling. I have my own bouts with it. Nowhere near as severe as Kenny, but I've had days where it was almost impossible to get out of bed. So I understand why Kenny kept this to himself. It's embarrassing. He was fearless in the wilderness, but there was a part of his personality that was helpless. I'm embarrassed revealing my own struggles with depression. I wrote this part of the script 5 times and deleted it 4 times. But I'm keeping...
I had my own battles with depression. I mean, shit, I'm disabled. I went through a lot, especially since, you know, it was degenerating over time. Like, I wasn't disabled right off the bat. I was slowly getting worse over time. So it was like that inevitable feeling, you know, like it's coming. And even now, like, my legs still work, you know, to a point, but those are gonna keep getting worse, you know. It's just I battled with depression. I went to therapy. I taught, my family knows about my problems with it and stuff, and now I turn it into a big joke. I think it's more fun to make it a joke. My therapist described it as the stages of grief, that I was going through the stages of grief over what I lost, all the things I lost, you know, being able to do. And so yeah, there's my little talk about depression, you know. I have a support structure. I have friends. There's people I talk to. I'm good.
Keeping it in because if you're struggling, I want you to know that you're not alone. 1 in 5 people report depression symptoms at some point in their lives, and that number is going up.
This is why the story of Kenny Beach endures. Yes, it has the mystery, the danger, and all the conspiracies, but at its core, the story of Kenny Beach is a story about a man who lived a simple life but wanted something more. He tried and failed. Then he tried again and failed again. And every time he reached out, life beat him back. He lost everything and tried again. I can relate to this, can't you? The story of Kenny Beach is the story of all of us. Sometimes life feels like an endless string of failures and disappointments, but you have to keep trying. There's that old saying, when you're going through hell, keep going. And there are people out in the desert right now searching for Kenny. They go out every day, and every day they fail. But they wake up the next morning, and they go out, and they try again. I have a ton of respect for these people. They don't care about the M Cave. They care about Kenny. And they believe, like I do, it's time for Kenny to come home. Thanks to Fishing Clash for sponsoring today's video.
Go to the link in the
That feels
description
so
and
out
don't
of
forget
place.
to use my code TWF.
Fishing Clash feels so out of place. Go.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. My name is AJ. That's Hacklefish.
I'm all about
It
that
felt
bass,
almost
baby.
inappropriate.
This has been the Watt
I mean,
Files.
that's just
If you
me.
have fun or learned anything, do him a favor. Like, subscribe, comment, share. That stuff really helps.
All right. What are we gonna do next? Hopefully something a lighter mood. Proof of life after death. Hope and warning from the other side. Let's see. Operation Sunray. Hunting the entity in the compilation. The science of ghosts and ghost hunting. Well, this is right up my alley. All right. It's a compilation. Compilation.
This episode of the Y-Files is brought to you by PDS Debt.
And brought to you by Hecklefish for President.
Yeah, and that.
The
That's
hero
long
we
past.
deserve.
All right. Hey, thanks for checking out another compilation. You know, people say they keep these running in the background while they're sleeping. I think that's...
I think what they said is you put them to sleep.
No, that's not what they said.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Still, I'm going to take it as a compliment.
Yeah, whatever you gotta tell yourself to get through the day, Chief.
Anyway, you may not want to put this one on your sleep playlist. Today we're doing everything paranormal, specifically ghosts.
Yay!
And ghost hunting has become an actual thing that
A
people
circus.
do these days. There are
It's a
ghost hunting
fucking
groups.
circus.
There's tons of ghost hunting TV shows.
Oh, like
Anti-bunkers.
Yeah, that one is Ghost Adventurers with Zach Baggins.
I guess ghosts
Zach
are attracted
Baggins,
to
the
Ed
bitch,
shirts and true
in my
religion
opinion.
jeans,
Really? 2007 called. It wants its insults back.
Ooh.
In
Burn.
1901, Nikola Tesla had the most terrifying experience of his life. As he worked alone in the laboratory one night, he felt a presence. So he created a device to see if he can hear
The
or
ghost
pick up
radio.
any signals
Yeah, we
from
covered this
whatever
one.
it was that he felt. He called it the spirit radio, and
Yeah.
it worked. And Tesla wasn't alone. Throughout history,
Edison did it
famous
too.
scientists who helped shape the
his
technology we
failed.
use today have spoken of ghosts and hauntings that shook them to their core. And while you might think these are nothing more than ghost stories, you'd be right. But there is
Meh.
scientific data that supports the existence of ghosts. Data that has been suppressed until now.
Bum, bum, bum.
Ghosts are generally thought of to be apparitions of the dead. Specters, poltergeists, phantoms.
That's the commonly
all these names are
accepted
given to the physical appearance of disembodied
terminology.
souls. When the presence of a ghost is felt or experienced by the living, it's called a haunting. Ghosts and hauntings exist in every culture, and all civilizations throughout history have their own superstitions and beliefs about what ghosts are and why they're here.
I
In
believe
fact,
a lot
the
of
earliest
it's based
funeral
on the fear
services
of
weren't
dying
intended to
and the
honor
afterlife.
dead. They were ceremonies to make sure the spirits of the dead stayed dead. In ancient Mesopotamia, the dead required a proper burial in order to reach Urkala, the underworld. If the funeral wasn't followed correctly, when the family of the dead failed to conduct the proper mourning rituals, the gods would grant the dead permission to return to Earth and haunt the living. These ghosts were believed to haunt people and places just like we believe today. The ancient Mesopotamians believed that ghosts could enter a living person's body and bring them bad luck,
Possession!
illness, and even death. Almost everyone, regardless of faith or culture, has at least one creepy ghost story,
something that happened to them or someone they know that involves ghosts.
Oh, I got one.
Of course you do.
After I lost my job as a professor, me and a couple other guys started this business chasing ghosts around New York. Well, things got crazy, and ghosts were all over the place. And then this Sumerian god shows up, and they end up making sweet love to Sigourney Weaver. And
Hang
then,
on.
What?
Yeah.
That's the plot of Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
No, Aykroyd stole that from me.
I highly doubt that.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see what you say after the lawsuit.
Wait, what did you say about Sigourney Weaver?
Oh, sure. Now you're interested, huh? You'll have to wait for my memoir like everybody else.
One of the first recorded hauntings was by the author and statesman Pliny the Younger in the 1st century AD. Pliny the Younger is mostly remembered for his dramatic first-hand account of the Mount Vesuvius eruption in 79 AD.
Okay.
But Pliny could also spin a good ghost story. The most famous of Pliny's ghost stories is that of philosopher Athenodorus Canonites. Athenodorus was looking for somewhere to live in Athens and came upon a property that seemed incredibly affordable for its size and design. Almost too
Interesting.
affordable. Athenodorus was told that
Wow.
the house was haunted.
Almost like
and
this
not
still
being one
happens
for,
today.
quote, vain terrors of imaginary noises and apparitions, Athenodorus rented the property, and everything was fine at first. Then one night, he was doing some writing when he heard chains rattling.
Then began the clanking of iron chains. However, he neither lifted up his eyes nor laid down his pen, but closed his ears by concentrating his attention. The noise increased and advanced nearer, till it seemed at the door and at last in the chamber. He looked round and saw the apparition exactly as it had been described to him. It stood before him, beckoning.
Okay, side note.
Interesting.
Athenodorus was a famous Stoic. Stoicism is a philosophy of acceptance, inner peace, focus, and controlling one's emotions. Basically, Stoicism is go with the flow and don't sweat the small stuff. So a ghost shows up dragging chains and looking all corpsey, and rather than freak out, Athenodorus does the most stoic thing I've ever heard of. Without saying a word and without looking up, Athenodorus holds up a finger, indicating that he just needs a minute to finish what he's doing. But the ghost kept rattling his chains, and when Athenodorus turned
Hold
around,
on a minute.
the
Hold on, I'm
ghost
not done
beckoned
yet.
him
Hold
once
on.
again.
The ghost slowly stalked along as if encumbered with its chains, and having turned into the courtyard of the house, suddenly vanished. The next day he went to the magistrates and advised them to order that spot to be dug up. There they found bones commingled and intertwined with chains. For the body had mouldered away by long lying in the ground, leaving them bare and corroded by the fetters. The bones were collected and buried at the public expense, and after the ghost was thus duly laid, the house was haunted no more.
Go
This
figure.
story was corroborated by others who knew both Pliny the Younger and Athenodorus. This is one of the many examples of hauntings that convinced Pliny that ghosts were very much a real thing. But ghosts don't always fit the stereotype of being spirit-like apparitions that appear in the dead of night. Ghosts can also be poltergeists. Poltergeists have been investigated as far back as 856 AD, when one tormented a family in Germany. Poltergeist in German means rumbling or noisy spirit. Unlike typical ghosts, which have limited interaction with the physical world, poltergeists cause physical disturbances. This one threw stones and started fires.
Just another day in Portland.
Starting
huh?
fires is a
was
problem.
Germany. But how many of these hauntings we hear about are real? And what can we do to scientifically validate the concept that the dead might still be walking among us?
A lot of people's common belief is that poltergeists are not human spirits, that they're more a manifestation of human emotions or pent-up feelings and stuff like that. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I could see it. Maybe not, maybe only in part of poltergeist activity, not all. I don't know. I haven't seen any proof this way or that. So, I mean, until I see something, I can't really say what or what. I'm just saying what reports have said and what people believe. I think it's an interesting idea.
Well, all we have to do is go on a hunt, because ghosts are surprisingly easy to find.
You'd be surprised.
Everyone has a ghost story, but how many people actually go looking for ghosts? Most people think of ghost hunting as a recent trend, something you see in cheesy reality TV.
Yeah, well, it's a reality TV trend.
What the hell? What's wrong?
But people have been hunting ghosts for a long time.
My ass. What? Like
If you grab my ass really hard.
I could feel like this on my butt.
It was in my butt.
Or
It was
even
going
cheesier
in.
YouTube videos.
Yeah, we're gonna catch the
What are you
ghost.
doing? Setting up a volleyball?
No, they're gonna catch a ghost.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God! Please stop. Please stop.
What the was that?
But people have been trying to actively locate spirits and contact the dead for thousands of years. Just recently, a cave was found near Jerusalem with artifacts relating to Rome.
That's how I feel when I look at these fucking TikTok ghost videos. What the shit was that? Okay, I found the worst one yet. That was the worst one. That is by far the worst. Okay.
Roman era death magic tools used to contact lost relatives.
Did they find any ancient Roman volleyball nets?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh my God.
Modern ghost hunting can be broken down into two different areas: contacting the dead directly via psychics or seances, or going to an allegedly haunted location in order to identify the presence of ghostly phenomena. Ghost hunting took off as a scientific pursuit in the 19th and 20th centuries, and things started out simple. People would gather, look for disturbances, make observations, and try to identify whether there were ghosts in their homes. One of the first books on the subject was published in 1936. It's called Confessions of a Ghost Hunter by Harry Price, 30 years into his career as a professional hunter. In the book, Price describes how that all that was needed to investigate hauntings in the early 1800s was a black parlor, a red lamp, and a circle of credulous sitters, and vivid imagination. Other early examples of ghost hunting methods that are still in use today include dowsing. And this is where wide or L-shaped rods, often called dowsing rods, are used to locate hidden resources, like
Dowsing
groundwater,
rods are so fucking
gemstones,
dumb, in
grave
my
sites,
opinion.
and all kinds of stuff, without the use of scientific equipment.
They're too easily
Then there's a tool that
manipulated.
everybody knows: Ouija boards.
Yeah, Ouija boards,
A
Ouija boards, whatever.
is also known as a spirit board or a talking board. And this is a flat board marked with letters of the alphabet and the numbers 0 through 9. Often the words yes, no, hello, and goodbye are also marked.
I think Ouija boards are bunk, but my wife won't let them in the
A group of
house.
people will sit in a circle around the board and gently place their fingers on the planchette. Spirits will then communicate by moving the planchette around the board. It's pretty simple by today's standards, but back in the early 19th century, the Ouija board was revolutionary. People even wrote to Price in support of the board and its incredible ability to conjure the spirits of the dead.
My mom used to have a thing where she would constantly buy board games. She loved board games, right? And she almost bought a Ouija board for us when we were kids just because she saw it in the board game section. She knew me specifically. I like creepy stuff. So she almost got that for me. But honestly, I would have been like, what am I supposed to do with this? It's not like I can call my friends over and just do this all night for like a fun game night. Oh my God. But yeah, she told me that story. I was like, yeah, I'm glad you didn't, Mom. I want something fun.
They even offered advice on how to get better results.
Dear Mr. Nickel, I cannot recommend you to any materializing medium, nor do I think that materialization is by any means the best form of manifestation. It is the one most open to imposture, and my experience is that materializing spirits never say anything worth listening to. You had better experiment with the Ouija in that way if any of your circle is at all medium mystic. You will get much better results. I am, yours truly, W.T. Stead.
Everybody's an expert.
Yep.
Just like in the YouTube comments.
Yep.
Yeah.
A series of events
Very
led to
accurate.
ghost hunting becoming one of the most popular recreational activities and scientific pursuits.
Of
And two of
course.
the greatest minds in modern history were leading the charge: Nikola Tesla and
and Thomas Edison.
These two great inventors are best known for their War of the Currents, the fight between Tesla's alternating current and Edison's direct current. But they also spent years battling it out in the hunt for scientific evidence that validated the existence of ghosts. And they both got pretty close.
By the way, a lot of people say that Edison, a lot of the scientific credits, or scientific achievements that he's been credited for were stolen from Tesla. Just thought we should say that.
Edison created the ghost phone,
Tesla called his invention the spirit radio. The basic principle behind these devices is similar to a crystal radio, which receives radio waves and converts them into sound without the use of external power. Both devices seem to work pretty well, and we have an entire episode on this which is linked below, and you can hear what Tesla heard, and we even teach you how to build one yourself. Eventually, Tesla and Edison's two competing forms of electrical transmission would one day combine to give us all the tools we need to hunt for ghosts. While most videos and images of ghosts end up being fake, there are still countless examples of technological devices appearing to pick up signals from the dead. And a lot of those can't be debunked.
Go figure.
A process used in modern science to prove or disprove various theories is the collection of proxy data. Proxy data indirectly suggests a theory is true, like using tree rings to see how hot or cold different summers were when we don't have actual records, or how we can tell whether different parts of the planet were under the ocean because of the existence of sedimentary rock deposits in the middle of the desert, or marine fossils on mountaintops. The more the data shows similar results, the more we can prove a theory is true. In ghost hunting, we have so much proxy data that it's hard to know where to start. There are a lot of instruments that tell us when energy and matter is fluctuating abnormally, suggesting the presence of a ghost. We even have audio and video equipment that can record things we'd never otherwise be able to see with just our naked eye. Probably the most well-known scientific ghost hunting tool is an EMF reader, basically a modern-day ghost phone meets spirit.
It's an EMF detector. It's set to follow magnetic fields. Again, like I said, they're often misused. In order for yes, Jay, yes, it is a failed experiment. You can pick up electromagnetic field from your cell phone, from like even the human body gives off a slight magnetic field. Again, it depends on how sensitive the instrument is. A lot of numerous things, but the problem is they use them in powered homes where there's a lot of electricity flowing through the home. People have electrical equipment with them, especially these reality shows that are filming. They don't take into account all those things when they're getting readings. Hey, Bonesy. Hey, Jay. The issue is for it to be effective as a ghost hunting tool, is it would have to be reliable. What's the word? Timely responses. So you ask a question and you say, like, make it jump once for yes or two for no. They have to be reliable and timely responses to your questions to make it in any way really usable. Otherwise, just random jumps. You can't say, oh, there must be a ghost here. No, that could be just about anything. Anything. It doesn't even signal a ghost. It could be, you caught a flow, electrical flow through the home or whatever, wherever you're hunting. Yeah, the best way to use it, the most reliable way, is you have to get reliable responses in a timely manner to the questions you are asking. So, there you go.
Radio. EMF stands for electromagnetic field, and these are invisible areas of energy often referred to as different types of radiation, such as radio waves, X-rays, gamma, microwaves, sunlight, and even human brain waves. Yep. Some speculate that if consciousness or a soul is
I'm making food. I haven't eaten all day.
Well, eat
something, you skinny fuck.
The conservation of energy says that energy cannot be created or destroyed.
Right.
So if consciousness is energy, this energy continues in some form after death.
I did say this before. Yeah, that was my idea. That was my biggest support for the idea of the paranormal. Is what if? I mean, if energy could be can only be like created or cannot be created or destroyed, only altered or whatever. But basically, well, then where does all that energy in the human body go once they die? Well, yeah, it could be transformed into some other form or but, I guess a ghost or poltergeist activity or something like that is a possible response. more likely that it would dissipate into, you know, just like when a lightning bolt like hits the ground and the energy is dispersed in that way. I mean, that seems like a more likely cause, but then also if that was the case for everyone, then everyone would, you're saying that everyone is the same, but there's too many variables in that. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only transformed. Well, there you go. Yeah, they just said it, but yeah, it's, you get the idea. So, I always thought that was an interesting... Oh shit, I hear thunder. Alright, if my stream cuts out, it's probably because there's a storm rolling in. I know that we have power outages here. We have a joke in the neighborhood. They're like, if you sneeze too hard, the power goes out. But yeah, that's one of the more fascinating ideas I have on like ghosts and afterlife. Sorry, my mind is on something else. I hope it's boobies.
This energy might interact with the electromagnetic spectrum, and EMF meters detect these interactions and fluctuations. So think of it like this. You're in a room in an abandoned building with the door closed, no windows open. You're miles from the closest Wi-Fi or other energy that could show up on an EMF meter. At first, the reading will be steady.
No.
When a ghost is present, out of nowhere.
Okay, an abandoned building, but you got to remember, look, they're using cameras. It picks up all that shit. Your cell phones, it picks up all that stuff. People think, oh, well, we're in a building with no power. Well, you have a camera, motherfucker.
Where you'll get a sudden spike.
Check DM later on. It's not important. Okay.
That's definitely a ghost.
Yeah, well, they thought so.
Oh, I don't see anything.
No, dude. I think I'm gonna go hang out in the lobby for a little bit. With other people.
Oh, there it is.
Ghost hunters believe that spirits can cause a shift in a magnetic field, causing EMF meters to pick up their frequency. The same goes for K2 meters, which also detect random spikes in electromagnetic energy that seem to come out of nowhere. And many of these types of devices can also pick up the sudden temperature drops that are so uniquely associated with hauntings. You know how you get a sudden shiver or out of nowhere you feel like you're being watched? Well, ghost
mac and cheese and pizza. Well, enjoy that.
Through you. With most EMF meters, ghost hunters get two forms of proxy data: sudden unexplained changes in an electromagnetic field and isolated temperature changes. Another piece of ghost hunting equipment is an anemometer, which is commonly used by meteorologists to measure wind speed and pressure.
Bullshit.
In ghost hunting, you can use an anemometer to seek out sudden changes in airflow or detect cold spots. They're also helpful in cases where someone suspects...
It's too unreliable. In my opinion, it's stupid to try to find cold spots. A lot of people do that and don't take into account the airflow in the home, if air conditioning is running, if there's any wind or open windows or anything like that. Cold air or even hot air can congeal in certain areas, can form in certain areas because of the wind flow of the building. And if something moves, say a chair or furniture or anything in the house, will alter that airflow and can make it look, oh, look, the cold spot's moving. Right. Those are bullshit and bunk, in my opinion. I wouldn't waste my time or money on that. Got touched by a ghost? What? Ignore the AC being on.
Ghost is slamming doors or moving items around their homes.
Ooh, like in Poltergeist?
Exactly.
Crossover children, all are welcome.
This house is clear.
Go into the light.
No! You said
don't go into the light.
There is peace and serenity in the light.
When you couple EMF readings with data from anemometers, ghost hunters can pinpoint tiny fluctuations in temperature and the electromagnetic field, which are then confirmed using infrared thermometers. If your EMF meter, your anemometer, and your laser...
See, I know that AJ here doesn't really believe in ghosts, and he's just telling you the facts. This is what is reported. And I'm telling you, the reason you don't hear about a lot about anemometers being used for that type of thing is because it's too unreliable and not a lot of people use it. It is considered on the list, but in my opinion, love Poltergeist, funny movie. Poltergeist was a great movie. me and Boo had fun going through the Poltergeist house at Halloween Horror Nights. Those lines out there get super long. You're talking like hundreds of people all in a small area. And I remember when she was little, I think she was like 3 or 4, and she was in the line, she started singing the Baby Shark freaking song, and all the people in line just started singing. All these people at this scary event are singing Baby Shark.
Laser thermometer, or I'll tell you there's a ghost. Well, that's kind of hard to argue otherwise.
Oh man, I want to visit that house.
Right.
It's over. It's past.
I got it.
There was a whole room dedicated to that fucking
There's
clown
also
too.
something called a radiating electromagnetism pod. A
It
REM
was
pod is a
awesome.
small
I know.
device with an antenna
I
that
know,
creates
and
its
she's
own
getting more and more of
electromagnetic
my
field.
attitude as she
It
gets
reacts
older.
when anything that conducts electricity gets anywhere near it.
Little Miss Mouse, I call her.
A REM pod has 5 different lights that indicate the strength of the disturbance.
REM pods are giant loads of bullshit. They are such fucking... A REM pod is a broken theremin. A theremin is an instrument. Basically, to play a theremin, you would play it and then you'd move your hands in the waves, the invisible waves it gives off, and it makes that... Like, think of the opening to, like, Doctor Who, that weird stuff. That's made from a theremin. Basically, it uses the same idea that something crosses in that field, like the way you would play a theremin would cause it to go off, similar, you know. But it goes off, these fucking REM pods go off at the slightest anything. A walkie-talkie will set it off. And I'm pretty sure, there's no way to prove it, but I'm almost positive that these fucking ghost fakers just aim the radio at it to make it go off whenever they want it on these TV shows. Oh, we need a ghost here. Aim the walkie-talkie at it. Oh, look, the REM pod's going off. They can trigger it whenever the fuck they want. Very, very easily. REM pods are garbage, and they're one of the most expensive things on the market. Go fucking figure.
A REM pod is basically a modified theremin, which is an electronic musical instrument that's played without actually touching it. The musician manipulates the magnetic field around the instrument to change the sound.
Oh, look, Doctor Who.
I missed that show.
Yeah, the TV show is highly doubt.
Yeah, but is it though?
Another piece of equipment is the Mel meter, which was specifically designed for ghost hunting. Mel meters use an antenna to detect motion. They have a gauge to track changes in temperature.
I never see
and
these
have
used,
all the same
ever.
elements as an EMF reader.
I never see those used.
I have absolutely no idea what's happening.
Because it's a piece of shit and you don't know. Whatever. Yeah, it's basically an EMF detector that makes more regular noise. You know, it's not just lights. How long is a Mel meter? As long as my dick.
Most of these devices are pretty much the same, and they're a lot better at debunking a haunting than proving one. But in many cases, the information provided by these devices is enough to lay the groundwork for ghost hunters to take their explorations a step further and gather video and audio evidence of specters. Because it's one thing to...
That is the best thing you can do, is video and audio recordings. However, I'm hesitant on voice recorders because a lot of people will let audio pareidolia to get the better of them. They'll hear some mumbled blah, 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 and they're like, did you hear it? It said get out. I'm like, that's not what it fucking said. It's just a sound. Yeah, you have to be really careful that it's not, that you're not getting had by audio pareidolia. You're just hearing some random shit and hearing what you want to hear. You know what I mean? The best evidence you have is, in my opinion, and I've said this for a very long time, use your own 2 fucking eyes and bring a camera. And if you see a ghost, don't run from it. Run towards it. That bitch is worth money. There's an active bounty for that shit. Proof of the paranormal? Get it. Get that motherfucker. I don't know how people can call themselves ghost hunters and run at the first sign of a ghost. You mean ghost bitches? God damn.
Detect a ghost, but it's something else entirely when you actually see one. EMF meters, Mel meters, REM pods, these can all detect ghosts.
But still, the results are
No.
up to interpretation. But
Yes.
if you
The results are up to interpretation, and they don't guaranteed detect ghosts. He stated it as fact. It's not fact. It's not fact. There's no fact behind them. It's theory. It's an idea. It's a thought. There's reasoning behind it, why they would work, why they could work, but nothing has been proven. None of it. Be the white guy in movies. Hey guys, let's check that out. No, I'm the smart guy, motherfucker. I would go by myself. Like if I'm ghost hunting, bitch. There's two separate organizations that are offering a reward for proof of the paranormal. One is a smaller bounty of $10,000. Another one is over $100,000. Bitch, get your bag, motherfucker. Don't go, oh, a ghost, and then run. Bitch, $100,000. Get the money. That's where I'm going. Fuck that shit. Fucking roll my wheelchair. Go get that bitch.
see a ghost, there's nothing to interpret.
Yeah, a lot of these are pareidolia.
Age, but the best results.
This image, I think this is the brown lady. This has always been a fascinating image to me. They didn't have the technology to fake things like they do today. It could still be an effect of double exposure, which I did get some knowledge on in college. I lived with somebody that did photography classes, and he actually had a photo of a double exposure that he did on purpose to make it look like a ghost in a grave, and it looks very similar to this, to be honest. 10K to 100K is still 100K. I know, right? Show me the money! But see, you could collect both. They're two separate organizations. There's no one saying you can't collect both bounties. You get what I'm saying? That's 110K. Oh, shit. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. I'm still here. I'm having some trouble. I'm seeing issues. Again, like I said, if I cut out, it's because of the storm. I just had some power flickering here. My power is still on, but it looks like, I don't know if my streams are still running. What the fuck? Hold on. I'm just checking my Twitch stream and my Kick streams. Oh, my internet went out. Fuck. Fuck! Fuck you, motherfucker! Damn it! It's not on my end. I guess I'll just sit here and wait. I know, you're still recording. So people on the VOD, people who are watching the VOD, you can see the fully recorded part. But yeah, we just had... I warned you. The power didn't go out. It flickered, but it was enough to reset the fucking modem. God damn it. Alright, it looks like it's coming back up. I'm just waiting for things to kick back on. I know. Dweebles. No, you don't. You love the internet. It cut my stream. Oh yeah, you're so funny. All right, I'm going to end the stream here and then restart it and pick up where I left off.